Well, good evening and welcome along to the PlayStation Open Series North American Monthly Finals. We're back for the month of December, just a couple of days after the Christmas break. My name is Brandon Smith and joining me for a night of FIFA is Richard Buckley. Rich, we're fresh off the back of Europe. Now it's time for North America to close out another year in competitive FIFA.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at what happened earlier on in the December monthly finals in Europe. It was Ajdin Riyad, aka Aidin98. One goal in the final was all it took for Ajdin Riyad to be victorious. He walked away with $400, 12,000 FIFA points, and the mantle of December champion.
And you're probably thinking, what is the Open Series all about? Well, let's talk to you about the PlayStation Open Series. We've been involved in this process since the summer months this year in 2020. Basically, it's your chance to have a go at playing competitive FIFA, to win some money, to win some FIFA points, to even win some in-game avatars, which are pretty cool. Compete.playstation.com if you want to sign up and get yourselves involved. There's weekly qualifiers every single week, and then there's our monthly finals where me and Richard come in to see the very best of the best. But it's not just those avatars they're playing for, Richard. There's some serious money on the line.
Yeah, some cold hard cash will be given out to all of the competitors who make it through to the top four. First place taking home $400, second will be taking home $300, third $200, and fourth place $100, with all four semi-finalists taking home a super cool 12,000 FIFA points.
And of course, if you have just tuned in, whether you're watching on PlayStation's Twitch channel or you're watching on the YouTube channel of PlayStation, we will be interacting with you guys all night with some polls and some questions. So make sure you do stay tuned as we look forward to hearing from you guys. However, Richard, if people want to get involved, where do they do it? Just below us, is it? Compete.playstation.com.
Yeah, just that link right there. Join the competition, sign up, link your ESL account and your PlayStation Network account, and you can be competing. Simple as that, just like all of the competitors that we're about to announce will be doing. We've seen what they're playing for, we've seen what the Open Series is, how you can compete. Brandon Smith, who is competing tonight?
Yeah, well, we've got loads of familiar names, which I'm looking forward to seeing tonight. Kevin AC07 returns for the month of December. He's going to be up against YH. 10 YH, yeah, 10, yeah. Then it's going to be Queenie 21 up against David Macias. The person that won last month's monthly final is back again to defend his crown, potentially to do the double on FIFA 21. It's going to be Ghost Femento, Pereiro, DSP25, and then again, two more familiar faces. Ramirez03, someone that we saw quite heavily in the FIFA 20 Open Series, and then someone else that was also in our November North American Monthly Finals in Ronin Adrian TTV. That's three names, Richard, from last month's monthly final that have re-qualified over for the month of December. That's something that we did not see over in Europe, so I'm looking forward to seeing those three names. But David Macias, can he go back-to-back, Richard? That is the biggest question that I'll be looking to see if he can answer over the next couple of hours, because that would be a serious statement. That's like Bosniano levels. He's an absolute one of the GOATs, you would say, here in North America. Could he be living up to that?
A very, very stacked field of players will be competing for all of the prize money that we talked about a little bit earlier. I believe the first game is right around the corner, and we're kicking off with an absolute barn burner, Brandon Smith. A real top tie. You look at the actual sort of how the graphics sorted there and how the brackets being formulated, and you would think that either Ramirez and Ronan Adrian TTV could be a final. No. They're matching in the quarter-finals. Game of the tournament, potentially, and we're starting with it in our first game of the day. Stacked as we mean to go on.
Yeah, exactly that. And if you aren't aware of the format we are using, it is on the head-to-head format, so expect the likes of France and Liverpool to be heavily used in this tournament. Over in Europe, as you just saw that clip as we welcomed the show in, it was Liverpool that were the champions today over in Europe. What team, Richard, is going to be ending as champions here over in North America? I mean, you'd probably say France, but we'll keep our eyes open, because who knows what other teams or clubs could be used over in North America. It always has been North America that's given us that mixed bag of teams in the past, isn't it? We've seen Barcelona's, we've seen Manchester United's, we've seen Real Madrid's, we've seen a load of different teams in North America.
We've seen PSG as well used in North America. Will we see PSG today? We'll have to wait and see, but I'm really excited to get these games underway. I think Europe sort of whet the appetite for the Open Series for today. There was a couple of real top games, in particular one that draws to mind, Max 900k against Jungle Run. That finished 6-3. As the tournament sort of thinned out, I think the games got less goal fest and more sort of tight encounters. There were some real clutch moments between a number of the teams. I mean, the final 1-0. It's quite a rarity in FIFA 21. Yeah. How is North America going to answer back to that? Are we going to see the amount of goals that we did in the early stages in Europe? Or will it be those tightly contested, sort of nervy games, which we all love to see?
Yeah, well, we saw it, of course, over in Europe in terms of, people from all over that European region. It's normally quite heavily in terms of Spain and Italy that sort of make up the numbers and make up the field. Over here in North America, we've got a great spread as well. People from Canada, Mexico, and of course the United States of America making up the field for a final 8 today. But it's great to see that, we've got 3 players re-qualifying again for today's monthly finals. But let's have a little look at a fun graphic. Speaking of Liverpool, Richard, will they be used in North America? And if so, who are some of the unsung heroes that should be spoken about a little bit more than the credit that they maybe get at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. Liverpool are a real top team in FIFA 21 head-to-head. These are a few players that might not get the gratification that they deserve. Fabinho being the first one. You talk of Liverpool midfielders, Oxlade-Chamberlain being one, not Fabinho, Wijnaldum being another one, and also Jordan Henderson. But Fabinho is there. He's the rock that holds it all together. He's like the grandparent in a family issue. He's the one bringing a little bit of calmness to it all. Joe Gomez next to Virgil van Dijk. Joe Gomez is the younger brother to Virgil van Dijk. I'm going with the family theme throughout all of these. And Firmino and Jota, they're the cousins to the less successful cousins of Salah and Mane. Look, they're just as good, Firmino and Jota, but they might not get the attention they deserve.
That is an interesting analogy, Richard, especially around the Christmas period. I like the analogy. Let's speak about France then, to flip this one on its head. Unsung heroes for France, because France are the team that everybody uses in the Open Series. But sure, there's a couple of players that maybe don't get the credit they deserve.
Yeah, absolutely. Anthony Martial being the first one. You'll see a couple of defenders and a couple of attackers on this list. Martial and Coleman, we'll start with those two. Don't get anywhere near the credit that they deserve. Granted, Kylian Mbappe is arguably the best player in FIFA 21, but I don't think Martial and Coleman are that far behind Griezmann and Ben Yedder as attacking forces, and I think they should get more recognition for their role in this France team. The other two players being Lucas Digne and Clement Lenglet. Digne fills a real good gap in that defence, a fullback that was very sorely needed for France. And Clement Lenglet, he just doesn't get the attention that he deserves. He doesn't get the love that he deserves. Show him some love, spread the festive cheer, and get Lenglet in the team, and he will repay you not only in gifts but in clean sheets.
Yeah, he's one of your favourite players, Richard, Clement Lenglet. He's always got a special place in your heart and in the Open Series. And you should have seen him in Europe earlier today, Clement Lenglet. He was throwing his body on the line, making some huge interceptions, and of course, being part of that France team at the back. Those are just some of our unsung heroes and players, of course, that we do look towards for both France and for Liverpool, Richard. Of course, there's two players, I should say two teams of players that are up for grabs that maybe they will be using. I've got some good news, Richard, that I've just heard. Our first game will be France against Liverpool. There you go. We've got a sprinkle of two different teams in North America. This is how we kick things off over in Europe, and what a game it was, if you remember rightly, Rich. It was a 4-3 thriller with Ajdin Riyad, I believe, involved in that one. It was a last-minute goal from Minamino to ensure that he booked a place into the semi-finals. Remember, you've got to be in the semi-finals of the top 4 to get yourself in the prize pot and to get yourself some FIFA points. So you just need to win one game. Win one game, and you're going to be into the money. You're going to be into that prize pot.
You could arguably say this is the most competitive game of the tournament for these players. This is the game that they have to win for it really to be worthwhile in terms of some cold, hard cash. You win this game, you're guaranteed $100 no matter what.
Here we go then. It will be Ramirez 03 as France in this one. Kicking from left to right. We'll digest how both of these two are setting up in their teams. And it will be Ronan Adrian TTV from right to left. Ronan was a player that made the semi-finals out in November last month. And yes, he may have lost to the winner in David Macias in a really tight game. But what he learned from that, Richard, is clearly, continuing over into December. Another monthly final outing for him. Another top 8 finish for him as well. So one of the consistent players in North America that's really hit the ground running on FIFA 21. And it's great to see. Let's have a look at the team that Liverpool are setting up. But it's actually going to be Fabinho that gets the nod. Again, 3 different ways of using this Liverpool team, so it seems.
Yeah, it's going to be Fabinho and Wijnaldum as the 2 central defensive midfielders. It looks like maybe even a false 9 up top of Jota and Firmino up there. Salah and Mane as the 2 wide players.
Could be a chance actually now for Liverpool early on to this tie. Back to goal. Try and turn around the corner, and it'll be Liverpool that break the deadlock. A man that's fresh off of November monthly finals. And who else would it be? Diogo Jota. He was undoubtedly one of the stars of the show over in Europe. That new addition to this Liverpool side that's adding so much to the club in the final third, of course, on the virtual pitch and the real pitch at the moment, so it seems.
Yeah, great finish from Diogo Jota. Just right place, right time. The Portuguese start popping up with a big goal there for Liverpool. Surprised they're not playing in red, to be honest, Liverpool, in this game, but they've gone for the turquoise.
I was going to say, what sort of colour would you call that? Bit of a green.
Sea green.
That is the breakthrough in this one. As we said, these are all best of 1 games, so it is a simple one and done in the nicest way. Here's Diogo Jota looking to get a brace already into the tie, 16 minutes into it. That's one thing we saw in Europe. Early goals, we saw 4 goals on average within 45 minutes in most of our games. If you have just tuned in, welcome along to the North American monthly finals. Our last event, actually, for me and you, Richard, of the year that we will be commentating on. And we can't wait to get going in 2021 with the new plans of the Open Series as well, as we're going to be going to foot next year. We'll tell you more about that later on into today's show, alongside how you can sign up and get yourselves involved at home if you fancy your chances in FIFA Ultimate Team. Here come Liverpool nice again. Gini Wijnaldum was one of those really key players earlier today, even bagged himself a couple of goals in Europe. Lovely little elastico there from Bobby Firmino into Gini Wijnaldum. It will go now, really done, just spreading possession. A quick look at France. It looks like your standard France side is Antoine Griezmann getting a start. No, he's not. It will be the usual front 4 as you expect to see. Kingsley Coman out on one side, Anthony Martial out on the other. Mbappe and Ben Yedder is that sort of number 9 and 10 retrospectively. Of course, your 2 CDMs in Paul Pogba and Kante, as you always come to expect. Here's Kingsley Coman now. One of those unsung heroes you mentioned, Richard. He's certainly one of the key players for many people in this France side. Lovely little use of the skill moves there. But Lucas Digne completely out of position now, and it could be a counter-attack for Mohamed Salah. He's got lots of room to drive into.
I'm just looking at the back post. Is Jota away from Mendy?
Good feet. And the Egyptian winger, he's got plenty of pace to inject into that final third. Fabinho back to Bobby Firmino. Can he play the one more pass? He doesn't need it. Great save. Hugo Lloris out for a corner.
Yeah, great save. It's a 4-2-3-1 from Liverpool. Jota out on this left-hand side. Mane leading the line, and Firmino as the central striker. You see Van Dijk locked onto the ball there. He pulled him to the back post, but nothing to come of it.
Could be a chance. Bobby Firmino outside of the boot. Goes for that finesse shot. Easy to be collected by Hugo Lloris. A third of our game gone already today. If you've missed the tournament, if you missed how today's bracket has gone, this started from a round of 64 earlier today. And these players had to go through 3 rounds of action to even get to this quarter-final stage. So a huge credit for even getting to the final 8 and making it to our broadcast today. Currently, as you can see, it is Ronan Adrian, who is up by a 0-0. The Mexican pro. He made a semi-final out in November, losing to our overall winner in David Macias. Currently up by a 0-0. He will be in action a little bit later, our former champion. Here's a chance now, back to goal. Ramirez with France, and just like that, we're all square. Ben Yedder opening his account for the night in North America with a really well-taken finish.
Great use of the fake shot right there. It's a directional fake shot, so he's not necessarily moving direction left to right, but he's moving forward with it. Sold Van Dijk and then just smashed it in that near post, and that's why Ben Yedder is in the team over his France teammate Antoine Griezmann, the 5-star weak foot.
Another reason why France are the team to use for so many in the Open Series. Here come Liverpool again. Will be a foul there. Just going to be pulled back there with 7 in-game minutes left. We know Trent Alexander-Arnold is a little bit of a free kick specialist. There's also Diogo Jota over it. He's going to play that one short. Are we going to see a shot come straight in? Offloaded to Salah. Great drop of the feet. Oh, wow. Couple of step-overs there and a lovely finish into the right top corner from Mohamed Salah. Really well taken free kick there because it looked like a direct shot originally from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Played it short and then many people shoot straight off the layoff, Richard. That wasn't the case on that occasion.
So he was wanting to shoot directly with Trent from the free kick, but he was just moving his goalkeeper a little bit. Ramirez. He moved him far enough across the net that he didn't want to shoot because the chance of him scoring was quite slim. Beautiful little layoff to Salah, and you only get that shot animation out of a skill move. You saw the double step over into the space, Anders Vergang-like, and then Mo Salah, just that shot where he sort of floats it into the top corner. Great finish from Salah and a deserving 2-1 lead.
Yeah, really nice goal there from Ronan Adrian, showing his experience in these monthly finals. Of course, Ramirez wasn't in our first monthly finals of FIFA 21 in the Open Series, but he was a player that was involved in actually some of our top goal compilations, Richard. Of course, one of our shows that we do create alongside the Open Series is Crossbar, where we highlight some of the biggest moments from the Open Series. I think he had out 3 goals in a top 10 sort of highlights, Richard. It was absolutely remarkable. Ramirez, he was scoring some of the best goals that we saw on FIFA 20. That's going to be our first half done and dusted here in our first game of the day in North America. Only a couple of goals to talk about compared to what we've seen in Europe, but some great goals, Richard. A really nice one off the training ground from that set piece there from Mohamed Salah to give Ronan Adrian a slight lead at the break.
Yeah, 4 shots, 4 on target for Ronan at half-time, but he's only at 34% of the ball. And Ramirez, 60+% possession, also 95% passing accuracy. So it's been a very good half from Ramirez. But in the terms of the attacking sense, he's not created the chances that he wants to, given the amount of possession he's had.
No, definitely. Something they'll be looking to improve in that second half. You can have all the possession in the world and make all the tackles, make all the pass and accuracy stats that you want. It's all about that scoreline at the end of the day, and it's often where you see players that don't have all the possession soak up all that pressure, go on a counter-attack, and all they need is 1 or 2 chances, and next thing you know, they're up by an extra goal. 2 goals to 1 Liverpool lead at the moment here. Again, it would be pretty remarkable to see a Liverpool win again. Another Liverpool player making it into a semi-final. We saw a Liverpool win in Europe earlier today. Here's Mbappe now. Does very well, lovely heel-to-heel, but can't get past that final line of defence in the terms of Joe Gomez there. Of course, if you have just tuned in tonight, welcome along to our North American monthly finals here in December. We'll be providing you with all the action. Lovely ball across the box there. It's one of the viable ways of scoring this year, just to whip that ball across the box. Question in the chat right now. Of course, get yourselves involved in our polls. Will Liverpool win the North American Invitational today? 69% of you say yes. I mean, that would be remarkable if that was to be the case. And what a story that would be to end 2020 and in terms of our FIFA 21 Open Series action, to see the current Premier League champions go and do the double.
Yeah, that'd be a rare feat. Even a double France win is quite rare. We always have one player who has a good run with Liverpool, it seems, in every tournament. Speaking of Liverpool, Red Devil in the chat saying Liverpool murderers. I'm guessing that is a big way of saying they're absolutely class, just murdering the opposition in any game mode they play. So comfortable last year in the Premier League. This year not being as good, but those step-overs from Mane seeming to be outstanding in the final third. I think with Liverpool, not only the fact that they got upgraded because of the Premier League win, but I also think the game suits them more this year, if that makes sense, Brandon, with the fact that pace is so prevalent in the final third. The skill moves that Roberto Firmino has make him so much more usable. The Elastico, the reverse Elastico, it seems to suit Liverpool's style of play.
I completely agree with you. I think Liverpool were a team that players still used on FIFA 20. Let's remember that in terms of when players didn't have huge upgrades like they do now. Like, you look at the upgrades they've had for FIFA 21, it's absolutely like ridiculous in terms of more the defensive side of things. Look at Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk, Alisson, Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's your back four, already upgraded. You know, players that were hugely involved and hugely successful last year. Fabinho, big upgrades. And you go forward off the back of that, you look at the likes of those very usable players, those pacey wingers of your Manes and your Salahs. And then all they needed was an out-and-out striker or someone that could just add the extra spice in the final third. I'll tell you what, someone else doing that right now is Bobby Firmino. Can't get around that final line of defence. But Diogo Jota, you know, for a long time, they only had Roberto Firmino up there on his own. And yes, he's a fantastic striker, lacks a lot of pace. He needed someone else to support him. And, you know, fortunate enough, they went and did some business, got themselves the Portuguese striker from Wolves. And yes, he may be a left winger in game, but he's certainly a very usable forward. And we've seen how good he's been in the Open Series just today. Here's Mbappe looking for an equaliser, well defended again by Liverpool.
Yeah, very good defending there. I love that ball roll scoop turn combination from Ramirez there, looking to create a little bit of space with Kylian Mbappe. Talked a lot about Liverpool.
10 minutes away. If he gets another goal, Richard, it will be game over. 17 minutes away from a win. Speaking of Diogo Jota, we hyped him up so much. We said how good he is. That is the player that has changed this Liverpool side, and I think it's given him even more of a reason why the current Premier League champions are being used to the level that they are in the Open Series. I mean, you've only had one shot as well, you know, on the other side of that for Ramirez. Only one shot so far in the game. He has really struggled to break down this Liverpool side.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we've seen a couple of substitutions being entering the fray as well. Oxlade-Chamberlain coming on at CDM by the looks of it for Liverpool. It's very comfortable, you've got to say, thus far in this tie. 17 minutes left to play. If he can get a couple of goals back, Ramirez, he will take us to extra time, but he's not shown us anything to signify or suggest that he would get 2 goals back in this game.
We've seen a lot of late drama already tonight, and we've seen people throw away 2-goal leads like this. We saw a 2-0 lead wiped away in 8 minutes earlier tonight, Richard. It was pretty remarkable. So we won't write anything off as of yet, but we've only seen one single shot registered. We're guessing that Ramirez has made some attacking changes now for these last 13 in-game minutes or so. But something has got to give and something has got to change. This is quite dodgy at the back there from Liverpool. Well defended and with composure in that area from Fabinho and Joe Gomez linking up very well. Here come Liverpool again, looking for a 4th goal. Looking for a 3-goal cushion in this title. Certainly send out a message to the rest of the tournament. Ronan Adrian looking to make it back-to-back semi-finals. He did it in November. He's about 10 in-game minutes away from doing it again in December. What does that mean, I hear you ask? It means 12,000 FIFA points are guaranteed, and at least $100 is guaranteed for making it to the top 4 as well. After a month of hard work, Richard, for these guys.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, not only do you have to be flawless today in the monthly finals, but in the weekly finals, you have had to perform to a very good level in one of those 4 weeks in December. This is all the hard work coming to a close here. And look, commiserations for Ramirez, because he will be leaving with nothing. But Ronan Adrian's journey is only just starting this evening.
Yeah, it's great to see Ramirez back as well. As I said, a player that was sort of showboating towards the end of FIFA 20 in the Open Series. And it's what we love to see. We love to see those familiar names back. The likes of Bosniano made it to the round of 32 today, we must mention. Was so close to getting himself back onto the broadcast. We'll say one of the GOATs here in the Open Series in North America. A man that's won this tournament so many times and been in so many of our sort of final 8s on the broadcast. Hopefully, we'll see him in 2021. But just a couple of minutes left here, plus additional time. It looks as if this Liverpool trend will continue out here in North America with our first win of the day. It will be Ronan Adrian, TTV, booking himself a place into our semi-finals. Referee, are we done and dusted? One more attack. Does he want to play? Mohamed Salah will certainly enjoy it if he can score it. Oh, even better. There you go. Make that 4-1. Referee, there you go. Job done. Importantly, big result there for Liverpool. Our first name into the Final 4 here in North America.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd have predicted that coming into the game. He had 38% of the ball, but 7 shots, 7 on target. He scored 4. You look at Ramirez, he had a lot of possession in that game, but like we said in the match, Brandon, he wasn't creating anything. He wasn't using that possession to his best of his ability. And in the end, a very clinical performance from Ronan Adrian.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff. Really good stuff. We'll have a look at some of those highlights, Richard, from those big match moments. And it was Liverpool that got things going. Just literally about 50 minutes into the time. Mohamed Salah, you could see picking up possession, waiting patiently, offloads it into Bobby Firmino around the corner. And who else would it be than that man that we just keep on seeming to talk about, Richard? Diogo Jota has been the goal scorer for Liverpool today across Europe and North America. France did reply just before that half-time whistle was blown. That was the goal from Ben Yedder. That was the first chance and the only shot that was registered all game. And then this one was even better off the training ground. A free kick taken short, lovely step-overs, and an even better finish from the Egyptian king. So they call him in Liverpool.
Yeah, great step-over combination there. Out of the free kick. He scored this goal right here. Fabinho looking for the run of Diogo Jota, Lacazette, dead stop, Lacazette, and then smashed past Hugo Lloris into the top corner. All those finishes, literally top corner. You can see Ronan Adrian, the first player to solidify his name in the top 4.
Yeah, and if you have just tuned in tonight, we've got plenty more games coming your way this evening. And as you said, including that matchup with our winner from November, who is back in the final 8, David Macias. Huge congratulations on making it back into the top 8. He was our winner on penalties, we must add. It was a penalty shootout when he won in November. Let's see if he continues that. That will be our next game, actually. We are going to go and see that man back in action. I hope he's continuing his run. I mean, it's great to see him back in the top 8. To be that consistent 2 months in a row, Richard, not many players can do it. We never see it in Europe because obviously the field is bigger out there and there's a lot more sign-ups for the European tournaments. But for North America, they're still so stacked. And to even get past all those familiar names we already know from FIFA 20, let alone FIFA 21, is so difficult. And the fact he's even in the top 8 is a great achievement.
Not only that, but in terms of the monthly finals as well, the talent that he's actually making it to today in this monthly final outside of the top 8. We're joining the bracket in the quarter-final stages. There's been round of 32 matches played. There's been even round of 64 matches being played. So it is really best of the best here at the top 8. I seem to remember last in November, Edrico season came in, CC season came into the chat, and they were like, "Oh, we were in the tournament, we just got knocked out. We just got eliminated earlier on." So they were trying to play, but they just ran into tough competition and unfortunately got eliminated for those particular players. But the new breed of Open Series competitors, equally as competitive as the old guard.
Yeah, certainly indeed, Richard. And again, a lot of people don't see there's actually a round of 64 that does go off on today's tournament. We just come in for the final 8, our quarterfinals, our semi-finals, and of course that big grand final. We've got to keep an eye out for this man though, David Macias. He was our winner last month in November. I can confirm as well, it will be France against France for this one. Forget Liverpool for now. We're going back, as you said, to the old guard, you may as well call it, France against France. We'll go for the pronunciation. Is it Queenie? 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 Queenie 121, a new player that's made himself into the top 8 in our broadcast. Again, another player that has signed up to the Open Series. If you want to get yourselves involved in this, we'll be putting a number of links in the YouTube comments and the Twitch chat if you guys would love to sign up and get yourselves involved. Because I'm sure Queenie, might have even thought that he would be in the broadcast, or let alone the final 8. This man's come out of nowhere. And he's on the verge of potentially knocking out one of the biggest names in our top 8, Richard, if he can score a couple of goals past him.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing how he reacts to being in this scenario as well, because it's not a new scenario for David. He's been here, done that, walked the walk. I'd say got the T-shirt, but got the prize money, shall I say. How is Queenie going to react to being in this scenario? The first goal is everything in a one-legged game of FIFA. It is really imperative to start the game strong. Also, mainly not to concede. If you go 2-3 goals down inside the first half, unfortunately, it curtains.
Yeah, it would be Queenie kicking from left to right in that blue shirt and red socks of France. And the man that's nearly won the up is David Macias. An unbelievable start to this game in the white of France. France against France. They're looking across the border. Some of the results that these guys have had today, some really tough results. I don't know if you remember a player called Savvy Panda, Richard. Round of 16, it was Queenie that actually knocked him out of the tournament. That's another familiar name. And as you talk about that old guard of players that have been in the final 8 before, they've been in those grand final broadcasts. There's just so many new names coming into the PlayStation Open Series from both Europe and North America. And it's exactly what we love to see.
Absolutely. I think the reason that we've enjoyed commentating the Open Series too much is because it has been new competitors, it's been new players, it's been new rivalries started every single week, every single month. It's never felt stale, has it?
At this France side, just quickly, Richard, to see how it's up. Antoine Griezmann gets the nod for David Macias. Let's not forget that he was a champion last month, and that's how he likes to play. Griezmann, not always a starter for many people that use France. I know that me and you, Richard, if we were building our own France team, our front four in a 4-2-3-1 would look like a Kingsley Coman and a Martial out on either wing, and Ben Yedder and Mbappe sort of leading the line. But he gets the nod. Antoine Griezmann, he played a couple of times out in Europe as well. And don't get me wrong, he's a very decent player, but
more.
He's not always the start he wants. But there's a lot more pace on offer. Lovely ball into the box there, and actually dealt with by David Macias.
More importantly, it's Mbappe out wide. He's not using Mbappe down the middle. He might be using Griezmann in that 4-4-2, but it's Mbappe. Looks all the way out wide on the right wing roll there, and Anthony Martial as the left winger. Kingsley Coman is the man.
Oh, really nice little Lacroqueta around the corner. Here's David Macias now. Ben Yedder just delaying the play. Speaking about Mbappe out wide, is the reason why he's out wide potentially here on this attack. Lovely Lacroqueta again. Went for the outside the boot finish. Well saved by Hugo Lloris and eventually cleared away by Paul Pogba. But so counter. Silky in the box. Look at that counter attack. Look how high that line is. Mbappe, cheeky chip over the goalkeeper. He's going to get away with it as well. Queenie will go 1 up against our previous champion last month, and from a good 2 or 3 chances from David Macias down one end to concede it straight down the other end, Richard. That's how a game can change so quickly. We know the chip is very much overpowered this year, and it's a very efficient way of scoring. And sometimes as FIFA players, you accidentally just pull your goalkeeper off the line that little bit too much, and that was one of those scenarios there with Hugo Lloris. You want to rush your opponent into chipping the ball or making a decision, and on that occasion, he was just off the line just a smidge too much.
Yeah, not only that, the chip shot might be very OP, Brandon, but doing it in a competitive game when you've got your tournament lifeline on it, it's quite a risky shot to take. There's more safe options of shooting. Great finish there, up and over the goalkeeper, sort of the scoop chip from Kylian Mbappe, hitting David on the counter-attack. We talked about the first goal being imperative. How can former champion David Macias react in this quarter-final tie?
What a start for it for Queenie, up by a goal to nil. A cheeky chip from Mbappe. Potentially shaking up tonight's bracket and saying, you know what, you might have been a champion last month, but that was last month. This is this month now. Lovely ball into the box. Varane is there, headed away back to Clement Lenglet. If he was to score, Richard, you'd be off your seat, I'm sure.
It'd be a great time.
It's another long ball forward. This is something that we've clearly come accustomed to seeing. That counter-attack is certainly one of the ways that Queenie likes to play. Look how many players he's got forward. And that blue strip for France. Be careful, though, because we've seen how good David Macias has been. Looking just quickly back at the bracket from last month at some of the results that he did have. He absolutely cruised through the bracket last time round. It was only at the grand final where it was a little bit tricky. Chance now, Paul Pogba. What a save, Hugo Lloris. That could have easily been 1-1, but what a save from the French shot stopper.
Great save from Paul Pogba as well. He took a little bit too long to shoot for me. Feels like it could have been a first-time shot when the ball came into Pogba.
Pogba again, reverse elastico the wrong way, unfortunately. We know he's more attacking out the two of him and Kante and that centre-mid partnership. Still knocking on the door is David Macias. A couple of step-overs this time. Went for the Lacroqueta, well read by Ferland Mendy, one of the toughest defenders to get past, let alone in France, in Ultimate Team this year.
Yeah, the entire game, Ferland Mendy does a wonder at left-back. He's incredible what he can offer you.
Martial now. Looking for that second goal to really potentially cause an upset in this tournament. Says you are looking at Queenie against David Macias, our second game of tonight's North American monthly finals here in December, our last tournament of the year. Chance. What's that back post? How deadly the crosses can be this year. A couple of step overs. He goes inside and well defended again. Getting into the box a lot, Richard. It's just either that last pass or
he's in.
A skill move. He's got loads of space again. So much space. Kingsley Coman goes on his own, and we've seen that time and time again. You get to that area, you're looking for a ball across the box, and sometimes it just isn't there. And 9 times out of 10, it's quite a routine day for the goalkeeper.
I think the chip could have been on again, you know, with Kingsley Coman. Obviously, he doesn't have as much confidence in Coman than he did with Kylian Mbappe, but at half-time, David, he's had a lot of the ball. He's had a lot of chances in this game, but Queenie looks very, very dangerous on the counter.
Yeah, he looks absolutely fantastic. What a start to this game. Look at the stats there. A couple of shots on target for either or of these two, but, I mean, it looks as if there's a counter-attack-esque style of play from Queenie, where if he was clinical enough, again, don't get me wrong, it's a lot more difficult, you know, playing it than us just sitting here and watching, but what a chance that was there. I mean, it was Kingsley Coman in acres of space. He's getting so much joy down that right-hand side of that front. So I don't know if it's because Hernandez is there maybe and he's pushing on forward and there's a lot of pace there. Or there's just so many players going forward, and the depth of David Macias' defence is just so high, Rich, and there's such a gap. No, so it is Mendy, believe it or not, that he's actually in right back, but clearly he's bombing on forward and there's a gap there every time.
We saw a change right there from David as well. Kingsley Coman brought on for Antoine Griezmann, and Mbappe goes up top. He's had enough of Mbappe as a winger. He's now going to be leading the line.
Again, he's going to be onside here, I believe. Look at the space. Mbappe, cheeky chip again, and it's another prime example. There is just so much space out on this right-hand side. I don't know who's getting caught off guard. I don't know if it's an offside trap or just a very high line. But Mbappe, the start of the show, 4 minutes after the restart, that's a 2-goal cushion for Queenie.
It's not an offside trap. I don't necessarily think it's a high line. I think it is literally the fact that he's losing the ball in bad areas. He's losing the ball high up the pitch with his midfielders, and there's not enough room then for him to get back with Kante and Pogba to block those passing lanes. It's literally one through ball, and he's in.
This needs to go in from David Macias. What a save from Hugo Lloris. Otherwise, we are looking at an upset here. Last month's champion. We have to highlight it because that is the facts we're looking at right now. It's currently 2-0 down in his first matchup of this evening. After cruising through the round at 64, the round of 32, Mbappe now. What a tackle. That is a clutch tackle. Out the back there for Queenie. He finds a third. Look at the space again. Look how high that line is. It's pressing just naturally on the halfway line. Anthony Martial to conclude the tie. He's got to conclude the tie. That's got to be game, set, and match. 3-0. Forget history. Forget previous winners, Richard. That doesn't matter anymore.
David Macias, 3-0 down. 55 minutes gone. You're seeing the player with the possession, the player with the, you would say, more of the ball, with the better chances that's been created. 3-0 down. Counter-attacking done right here in that 4-4-2.
The depth has gone right out the window now, Richard. I mean, I might have an actual point about the depth when we see how high this France team is going to be, because he's going for the game and you don't blame him. He's 3-0 down. It's one of those scenarios you sit back and you lose 3-0 or you go for it, and who knows, you snatch 3 goals or you might even snatch a winner if somehow you can pull this team apart. We've seen comebacks before, Richard. This would probably be up there with a comeback of the year if there was to be 3 goals. If we did see 3 goals, of course, we would go into extra time. But there's a lot of ifs and buts, Richard, before we get anywhere near that scenario.
I'd usually say there's chance for a comeback, but the way that the goals have been going in for Queenie, it plays right into his hands. It plays literally into his hands. There's going to be more bodies forward. There's going to be more space in behind. I can see this ending in 4 or 5, in all honesty.
Here we go. Here's Mbappe. This needs to go in now for David Macias. Oh, he's hit the bar. He just can't get the rub of the green. Maybe it isn't his day. And there's the space. The depth is so high. This is where there is going to be opportunities. Kingsley Coman to make it 4. A bit too hard on that angle there to try and get a real good shot in at goal. Coman does well. Drops the shoulder. The Bayern Munich man down the byline. He can dance in the box and he can win a corner for his efforts as well. Really well done there. Him towards the front post. Lloris has another option, but just to parry it over the top of his head. It goes back to Clement Lenglet. Will do just about what he can on the edge of the box. Does very well to offload that to Paul Pogba. Pogba still just in a bit of a hustle and bustle with Ferland Mendy. Now France will come at numbers. David Macias 3-0 down, and time is not on his side. He's got over 20 in-game minutes left if there's any hope of a comeback, but the goal needs to go before the 75th. This needs to be a goal. Pogba. Can he offload it? Can he get it into Mbappe? Can he try and find someone who can just
He's a hero.
Start a comeback or do it? Not passes like that in the nicest way.
Oh.
It's Mbappe to make his day even worse. Mbappe goes for the finesse. Great save. Is there a rebound? Yes, there is. And Queenie. It might be his first ever broadcast and his first ever monthly final. Do not give this man a second look. He is 4-0 up against November's champion. We have to November's champion in the North American monthly finals. This is a result that I don't think anyone would have predicted in the nicest way possible.
Yeah, David Macias is the defending Open Series champion for about another 3 minutes, because he is crashing out right now of the December monthly finals. We're going to have a new champion lifting the trophy before the year is out. What a performance. A game plan executed perfectly.
I mean, just his counter-attack style of play, Richard, has been relentless from Queenie. Look, we're going to see it again if he's going to be on side there. He's just going to be about on side. His runners have been honestly superb. Coman, Mbappe, Martial, Ben Yedder, they're literally on the last line of defence. Every single time a through ball goes through, the timing of it's perfect. The weight on the passes is even better. Might be more of the consolation here if David Macias can even get a chance. Goalkeeper movement, it's a gaping goal, and it is a goal back into the tie. 81 minutes on the clock. I mean, I don't think we'll see 9 goals. I should say 3 goals in 9 in-game minutes. That, honestly, I think is mathematically possible. Impossible, I should say.
Yeah, look, if he does get back into this game, and get the bricks and mortar out, because we need to build a David Macias statue. I don't think it's going to happen.
He's going to make one more change. I love that we've still got some sort of belief within him that he's going to try and pull something back in this game. He's got about 7 in-game minutes, Richard. There's literally pretty much no time left. As you said, whoever wins this game will be, of course, into the semi-final stages here. That'll be on the top half of the bracket, headed down towards the floor. And yeah, 6 minutes left. I think you're right, Richard. Whatever the game plan has been from Queenie, it's been absolutely remarkable. The counter-attacking's been great. Soaked up all the pressure when he's needed to. And when he's got opportunities, he's been clinical. He scored 2 chips. He loves the cheeky chip.
Yeah, it's been a real confident performance as well from Queenie. David, he's had possession. He's had somewhat decent chances as well. Just no real killer instinct in the final third. Chance here to counter-attack for a late consolation goal. It looks like killing Mbappe. He's getting tracked by Ferland Mendy. Went for the bridge touch. Defended expertly well.
Yeah, just waiting for that full-time whistle now, Richard. Plus those extra couple of seconds of additional time. But absolutely remarkable. Unfortunately, we'll be saying goodbye to last month's champion in David Macias. Still an unbelievable achievement to make it to the top 8 again in the bracket. But unfortunately, that won't win you trophies. It won't win you any prize money either, unfortunately. And he will crash out the tournament. And fingers crossed we'll see him again in January. But there's a new sheriff in town. And he goes by the name of Queenie 21. Huge congratulations. 4 goals to 1 victory. And just a remarkable game for him. Caught him on the counter-attack time after time. A couple of cheeky chips in the mix, Richard. That's 2 names into our final 4. There's a France, there's a Liverpool. Who are the next 2 teams going to be? Probably France, or maybe Liverpool.
Yeah, speaking of chips, I've just seen a little poll in the chat as well, which is very, very interesting. It says, your friend chips your goalkeeper and scores twice in the same game. Are you, not my friend anymore, GG, friend, or we're playing again? I'll be very intrigued to see which vote is winning. We're playing again is the number 1. A lot of competitive people here in the Open Series, and that's what I like to see.
I'm pretty sure we've played against each other that's happened, and you've done that against me, but To be honest, I'll kick it off with a GG friend, but then there would be a rematch after that, in the best way possible, because Richard likes to just sort of bully me in the nicest way when we play against each other. He just teases me. He's got all these great players. He's got Ronaldo's and Neymar.
No, I don't. I literally have no great players in my team right now.
Oh, sorry, you're full of icons. No, you're full of icons. You're full of icons at the moment. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. Let us know in the Twitch chat. Drop a vote on the polls. There'll be loads of polls coming up tonight in terms of different players that you might want to use. And, of course, a couple of fun polls as you will. But no, 2 cheeky chips, Richard, from Queenie. Really good chips as well in terms of you have to be clinical in those areas. You have to time them right. And that's exactly what he did. 2 early goals and 2 fantastic chips.
Yeah, you have to have confidence as well in the player that you're chipping with. And you see Kylian Mbappe scooped over the goalkeeper. Lloris scampering back onto his line, could get nowhere near it. Mbappe in behind here again. Left foot, right foot, it doesn't matter. Dinked over him into the back post. And 2-0 up after half-time. We thought, OK, David needs to come out in this second half and be much better. Unfortunately for him, another counter-attack, and Anthony Martial was the goal scorer. 55th minute, Kylian Mbappe getting the better of Lenglet there. Finesse shot, rebounded back onto Ben Yedder, and that was the game. No time for anything else really of note to happen for Dave. He did get a late consolation, but it was nothing to talk about in the story of the game.
Well, this is how the bracket is looking. We're slowly filling up the gaps in terms of who is going to be in our semi-finals. As you know, we go from 8 to 4 down to 2, and then we'll find our champion a little bit later on this evening. We've seen Queenie 21 book a place in the semi-final. We also saw Ronan Adrian, TTV, book a place in the semi-final earlier today. I believe we're going to be checking in with Kevin AC 07 and Year 10 Year as our next game this evening. And it's going to be France against France, Richard. So we can pray that there will be a Liverpool somewhere else in this quarterfinal bracket to maybe give us the hope of a Liverpool win again, as we saw in Europe. But a brilliant start here in North America. If you have been enjoying the broadcast over on YouTube or, of course, on Twitch, let us know. Get involved in the chat. Let us know what team you would use if you were playing in the Open Series. Because, again, there's plenty of options. And hopefully, as we go into 2021 with Ultimate Team being an option, we're going to see some real mix of teams, Rich. And I really just can't wait to see how 2021 looks in terms of the PS4 tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely. Ultimate Team is coming in with a bang. Just before we get into the game, Year 10 Year, I don't know, I think it's because this famous artist, the song was Year ×3. But all I can imagine is Usher when it is called Year 10 Year. I'm sure it's not Usher, but if it is, welcome to the PlayStation Open Series, Usher. I hope you have the best of luck against Kevin.
I mean, it's one of those days, isn't it? We always talk about gamer tags. Like, how do people come up with certain gamer tags? I mean, that's the conversation I'd love to ask Year 10 Year if he's in it. Was it just a random one that the PlayStation offered you? Was it one you thought about and gone for? Or, as Richard said, is it some sort of famous celebrity that's going undercover in the Open Series tonight and fancies his chances? Someone in the chat saying, our players Bayern Munich. Interesting. Again, they are one of those teams that we have spoken about previously. If you weren't using France, Richard, in this tournament, who would you be backing? Is it PSG for you?
You can see right here, Neymar and Mbappe, and I think we've got Zlatan right here as well, just next to me. I'm not a PSG fan, but PSG would be the team of choice for me. Neymar, Mbappe, and Di Maria as a front three is just too deadly. Idrissa Gana Gueye as well in midfield. You got Marquinhos at the back, Kimpembe as well. I feel like PSG are a serious outfit in FIFA 21.
Well, they certainly are indeed in terms of what they offer you all over the pitch. Here we go then, we're underway. Year 10 Year will be kicking from left to right, potentially with the first chance or the first goal of the game. He's absolutely cruising forward there with Mbappe. A couple of hill-to-hills and a ball roll trying to get around that last line of the defence. Kevin AC07, it's a familiar face, Richard. We saw him in the November monthly finals. This man, unfortunately, didn't go any further than the quarterfinals. He actually lost to David Macias 3-1, who went on and won last month's tournament, so I'm sure he could sit back and go, I lost to the winner. Doesn't matter this time round. However, he'll be wanting to go past the quarterfinal this time out, and especially knowing that David Macias is not in the bracket anymore, he'll be thinking, all right, I won't have to play against him again.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll also be looking at that result and thinking, I've got a chance of winning this, in all honesty.
Oh, lovely bridge touch. Oh, even better from Mbappe there. The bridge touch, one of those lovely little touches you can sort of add into your repertoire in FIFA 21 this year. So effective, so efficient. And that's the best example of doing it, Richard, with players like Mbappe, that you know as soon as they get through on goal, as soon as they get a sniff in the box, they're always going to be causing havoc.
Perfect execution of the bridge touch right there. The bridge touch has evolved as well. Instead of just a double tap R1 bridge touch, what you're seeing there is L1, R1 together and then flicking the right stick in a direction which you want to go. And you get sort of a directional bridge touch. It's a lot more effective than just a double tap R1. And that's why you're seeing it used so much in these games.
That is Kevin AC breaking the deadlock in this one for us here in our third quarter-final of the evening. As we said, all our games are best of ones here, so it's a one and done. There's no aggregate score lines. There's no best of threes. That includes our grand final as well. If ever we're drawing, we'll go into extra time and we will go into a deciding penalty shootout, which is yet to happen over in Europe. And I mean, it happened in our grand final last month out in November. It still could happen today. We'll see how all our games will play out. We've had a couple in extra time that took place earlier tonight, and there were some unbelievable games. One goal to the good is Kevin AC so far in this tournament. Looking at his bracket run today, and well, he's had to go through. He's had some really tight games.
Just looking at the players here actually being used. It looks like Ben Yedder in at cam, Martial out wide, Mbappe as a central striker, and actually Kingsley Coleman on this left-hand side for Kevin. So you would say the France setup that myself and you, Brandon, would be adopting. I think if we were to build this France team, that is what we'd go for.
Yeah, it looks like both players, as you said, have sort of gone for the exact same scenario there. Mbappe could be off if he can whip that ball across. He's looked for that pass, he's not there. Just a little bit too heavy. But no, yeah, both players resulting not to put the Antoine Group of two. I think they're pretty much the exact same team, Richard, in terms of the fullback choices. You've got Hernandez in at left back for both of these two. You've got Ferland Mendy in at right back for both of them as well. Of course, Coman out on the left for both. And Anthony Martial on that right-hand side. And sort of Ben Yedder in that number 9 role as wearing number 19. And Mbappe out and out as a striker. They're really well done. Trying to line up that finesse potentially. Then Mbappe drops the shoulder left, right. And Mbappe can be so deadly. A couple of step overs, well done by Rafael Varane there. Just to clear up the danger. Chances at either ended. 25 minutes on the clock. At the moment, it is Kevin AC in the lead. Here's a potential counter-attack now. Mbappe's in the box. Ben Yedder's also in there. Are we going to see a cross or a skill move in towards that byline? Anthony Martial back to goal. Can he offload it into the path of Ben Yedder? Mbappe's also there. He got a touch on it, and then eventually Ferland Mendy got possession cleared as far as Anthony Martial.
Surprised tonight, Brandon. We've not seen any penalties gave, really. Usually we certainly see more penalties from players. I think competitors must be starting to adapt to not pressing circle inside the box and leaving any sort of leg dangling.
I think we saw one tonight. We saw one in Europe. Again, it was a really soft one. It was Clement Lenglet that made the foul. Again, it was a real soft tackle, but you have to be so careful this year in terms of diving into tackles and making the right call, ensuring you are making the right call in those areas where, as we know, we've seen penalties given so many times before. Here's another chance now for Ten, our only Canadian player that made it to the final 8 in tonight's bracket. Kante, get that ball around the corner. In the end, comes to nothing between those two. Possession pretty much even as well. You can see at the halfway point here, just 9 minutes before we go into the half-time interval. Remember, if you win a game, you're into the prize pot. People that finish in the top 4 will be given some prize moolah. $400 to our champion tonight, alongside everyone that makes it to the top 4. 12,000 FIFA points. Perfect timing with Team of the Year just around the corner. Here's Mbappe. Can it be 2? Goes, drops. 1, 2, 3. What a save! Reese onto the upright there. For a split second, I thought he should have went with the right foot of Mbappe, but he cut back inside, and it was an even better save.
That would have been goal of the day right there. Beautiful play from Pogba as well before that. Twisting and turning. Didn't know which way he was going to go. Kevin AC looking in fine form right now. I think the exit of David from the tournament certainly put a spring in his step.
He's got to defend this one. Varane offloads it into Mbappe, but unfortunately just gave him one of the worst tee-ups of the chance there. 2 minutes left, plus additional time to follow in this one. But yeah, Kevin AC showing his experience. He's been on the broadcast before. You remember losing in this exact same scenario just 1 month ago in the November monthly finals, losing, as you said, to David Macias. Lovely bridge touch again. It's Kingsley Coman. What a ball that is, and an even better goal from Ben Yedder. It's the bridge touch combination that comes to create another goal for Kevin AC 07.
Fantastic play. The bridge touch down the line, just opening up so many different avenues with that one skill move, and then super simple skill to do. Not the flashiest of skill moves, but certainly effective, and then very smart decision just to play it across the line into your strike partner. 2-0. Kevin looking pretty comfortable, shall we say, right now. Ben Yedder with the perfect time to score that goal on the stroke of half-time.
It could have been 3-0, really, if you think about it, Richard. It was an unbelievable save from Hugo Lloris to tip it onto the upright. You saw sort of the portfolio, you should say, of the first 45 minutes for Mbappe there. It was a goal and a shot that was ricocheted off the bar. It hasn't been a bad half for the number 10 and for Kevin AC. The one thing we've got to see more is there's been a lot of good skill moves. There's been a good combinations in the box, but he's getting to the box, Richard. He's just not doing anything else when he gets there in the nicest way. In terms of, we're not seeing a shot registered. We're not seeing even a chance created. It's getting to the box and then running out of ideas, or other than that, superb defending. Yeah,
absolutely. I think the final chance creation in the final third has been a little lackluster, shall I say. But he's also not had that many chances to create as well, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's been build-up play, but then that final pass or that final shot just hasn't really hit home as of yet.
It could be an early chance. It could be even worse. It could be 3 goals to nil. Mbappe dancing in the box. Lucky enough, but was back there to get rid of that ball. Otherwise, that could have been 3 goals to nil. Mendy. To Mbappe now. That's a great touch, and even better couple of step overs. This needs to go in from Yerten. He needs to get things ticking. Gets to these sort of scenarios and it runs out of ideas like that. It's just not clicking together there. What a chance that was. Had to delay the chance, had to wait to get someone else in the box, but unfortunately, in my opinion, waited a little bit too long.
And again, got to the byline, but then it almost ran out of ideas because there was all the cutback options were already marked.
Seems like quite a common theme we're seeing though from players. We're seeing, a lot of players get the ball out wide and are very lacklustre to make a cross, which is fair enough because obviously there's no option in the box. So that makes it. Oh, what's happened? Lloris having to make that save off that chance for Mbappe was a little bit of a shock there for me. The players get to sort of this area down the ball. Oh my! Clement Lenglet! Am I dreaming? How was he just got all that time in the world to turn and shoot, and actually to put it into the top corner? Clement Lenglet. That one's for you, Richard Buckley, I'm sure. I'm sure that's a dedicated goal to you from Kevin AC.
Yeah, I heard Lenglet actually signing his boot and sending it to me after he scored that goal. Wow, what a player. He can do everything. He can do everything.
What a taken short. Clement Lenglet then gets the ball and just turns, but when he turns, he gets past about 3 defenders, so it seems. Now 3 goals down. Yerten making a pause, and you can imagine he'll be trying to change everything and anything that he can, but not a game to remember. 3 goals to nil. Everything has been perfect from Kevin AC, and he looks like he wants more goals. Mbappe now. Oh, look at the space. He plays forward. You can do that on the box. Reverse Elastico is coming out. Everything. Fortunately, can't skid his way past the full team. Goes out for a corner. We'll have a look at the pause here then, and let's see what's being changed, because everything needs to be changed. We're looking at Antoine Griezmann coming on. Well, he's already on the pitch, I should say. And then we're looking at a depth increase, which you should expect to see. We're going into about 6 bars now.
Yeah, press after possession loss as well. So certainly aggressive chances. Aggressive, I should say, changes. Hoping to create some chances. But he's beyond comfortable.
in a best-of-1 game as well. Let's not forget this. You know, 3 goals up. Your dream of being in a scenario like this and having 3 goals in your repertoire of being 3-0 up, you'd be absolutely laughing. I'm just going to see what's been changed on the other side of that. 4-4-2. Of course, there'll be game plans that will be changed into by Kevin AC. A 4-2-2. What's the 4-2-2 looking like? It's a possession after press after possession loss. Again, about 6 bars there and balance. But there's one stat, Richard, that jumps out at me there. 1 shot, 1 on target. That's all we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's just not been at the races in the final third. That's literally all it's come down to. You're not going to score goals if you don't create chances.
He's Mbappe. Could it be even worse? It will be. It's that easy. Well, that's how it looks. From us
got
looking
2
on the
goals from
outside in.
corners.
So simple as well, Richard. It's like no one's expecting the ball to go short. It's like no one's tracking the ball to go short. It was Clement Lenglet 5 minutes ago. Now it's Mbappe, 64 minutes on the clock. You may as well throw that man's name into the semi-final now.
Absolutely. I mean, look, he makes it look very simple, but it's extremely difficult to do. Inside the box, the step-overs and the creative sort of nous in the final third also.
More of a consolation. There's the bridge touch. Really well done. Again, that's what we've been waiting to see. A bit of class like that. Lovely bridge touch. Lovely sort of turn inside there with the ball roll. And then just teeing up the perfect finesse shot. Shame we didn't see that sort of earlier into the game. For me, it's still just too much of a mountain to climb. It's a 3-goal cushion still, which any player would sort of bite your hand off to be in a scenario like this. You're about to go into a cash game, guaranteed $100, guaranteed 12k FIFA points. And you've got a 3-goal cushion to hold on to with 20 in-game minutes left. You should not be throwing this away. Knowing my luck, it probably will be thrown away, but it should not be throwing this away with 20 in-game minutes left. Mbappe trying to burst his way through and eventually defended well.
Chance to counter-attack. Mbappe looking to tee up Anthony Martial off the chest of Lenglet. Plenty of open grass in front of him.
$17 minutes left. You may as well start writing those names in the semi-finals, which is going to be, of course, Queenie up against Kevin AC. There's a lovely poll in the chat right now, Richard, that's got your name on it. Why does Richard like saying Clement Lenglet? Or sorry, why does Richard love Clement Lenglet so much? He's a great player, or he just likes saying Lenglet? Can you guess which one's winning at the moment in the votes? Have you just done a vote?
What are the 2 votes?
Have you just dropped a vote?
Oh, what have I just seen? What have I just seen? Oh, the goalkeeper got tackled by the defender. Oh, write it off. Write it off. Call the game off. Call it off. We don't need to play the last 12 minutes.
Just concluding the tie. But yeah, there's one vote that says he's a great player. I just want to say that's you that's probably voted that, Richard, isn't it?
He is a great player. He is a great player.
It would have been you. But the Twitch chat's agreeing on the other side. Just like saying Clement Lenglet. Again, get yourselves involved in some of our polls today if you are watching on Twitch. But yeah, 5-1. Quite a fortunate finish there from Mbappe, but he's always going to be gobbling up those chances where it's pretty much an open goal, and I think anyone would be in those scenarios. 8 minutes and a bit left from concluding the game and knowing that he will be in a semi-final against Queenie to battle out for a spot in our grand final. But the biggest thing for Kevin AC, Richard, is that he's not out in the quarterfinals this time. He's not got a face against David Macias as well. He's got to play against the guy that beat David Macias 4-0, which right now he probably thinks, okay, I don't mind the look of that, but this Queenie is looking like the real deal.
Yeah, absolutely. A real top test coming up here between Kevin and Queenie. Should be the name of the TV show. Kevin and Queenie.
If you want to have a look at the bracket tonight, there is a link in both of our chats as well. So give it a click. You can follow the bracket in the action to see how we are looking. But before we know it, we will be down to our final 4 here in North America for the month of December. FIFA points will now come into effect, and the prize money will also.
I just had a little browse, little glance over to the poll.
You got another vote?
Nope.
No, oh no, you're on your own still. I might even give you a vote because I'm feeling nice. Kante into Griezmann. Added time of just 2 minutes to come up, and that will do us in this one. But again, a really good performance. Just was very, very clinical in terms of the chance he was able to create. He created a 3-0, a 4-0 lead, and by that point, Richard, it was all game over. But the chance he made from corners was exceptional, but also the bridge touch finishes, the use of the bridge touch was just so good from Kevin AC. He books a place in the semi-finals with Queenie as they battle out for a place in our grand final. We'll keep you up to date with how the bracket is looking. As we said, there's that one more quarter-final game to be concluded. But Richard, a really good performance from Kevin AC, and he'll be into our final four.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see some of the best goals from the game right here. It's sort of a Kevin AC masterclass that we're about to watch right now. Kylian Mbappe, bridge touch down the line and smashed into the top left corner right there. And that was it's a sign of things to come, shall we say, because a rinse and repeat right there. Kingsley Coleman bridge touch down the line, and Wissam Ben Yedder was the scorer of that goal. Well, look at this for a goal. Clement Langley.
He just knew it was one of those. I actually never thought I'd see Clement Langley score in an Open Series broadcast. He's never normally, of course, in the box other than from a corner. Then again, another corner, Richard, where he just makes it look so easy. Don't get me wrong, unbelievable set of skill moves there. The repertoire, the combinations, really, really impressive there from Kylian Mbappe. That made it 4-0. There was a consolation late onto the tie. Again, a bridge touch, ball roll, really good goal. That was a really nice, well-taken finish there from Macias, but it's not going to mean much. And in the end, this is how we look. And oh my days, it was a game that was played off-stream. Ghost Femto wins on penalty kicks 4-2 after a 3-3 thriller in that one after extra time. I'm gutted I didn't get to see it now.
Yeah, great game there. We're going to see Ghost Femto taking on Ronin Adrian very shortly indeed, and also Kevin AC up against the main man, Queenie 21. I'm looking forward to seeing all these games. One thing we can tell you for sure is that Liverpool will have a presence in the Final Four through Ronan Adrian TTV. I'm looking forward to this top four playoff.
Yeah, well, those semi-finals will be coming up in just a couple of minutes' time. Me and Richard are off for a quick break and to get ready for these games. But as we said, the cash now comes into play alongside the FIFA points. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back for Liverpool against France in just a couple of minutes' time. Strap yourselves in, it's going to be a good one. We are here today to bring you the action.
Hello. Fantastic finish.
Oh, it's an equaliser. Goals galore.
What a player he is.
There is so much on the line. Avatars, in-game fiends, money, FIFA points. We want to see you involved.
PlayStation.
Hello everybody, Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley here with a look at some of the most effective ways to score in FIFA 21. High scoring matches are going to be common this year in FIFA 21, and it's important to understand you have loads of options in front of goal.
The first thing that we're going to look at is the finesse shot. Basically, the finesse shot is where you hit the ball with the instep of your player's shooting foot. You initiate the finesse shot by holding R1 and then powering up the shoot button. It's all about finding the angle and then curling the ball past the goalkeeper. Stats that you're looking for are finishing, curve stats, and also the finesse shot trait.
It must be said as well that heading has returned this year in a major way to FIFA 21, Richard.
Absolutely. Heading has been completely overhauled in FIFA 21. Manual heading, you have to aim the ball and also power up exactly where you want the ball to go. You've got to practice, because when you first start, you are going to miss. It is going to be hard. Practice, practice, practice your headers. Near post, far post, from corners. Whenever you can, try these headers, because if you get it right, you will score plenty of goals.
Chip shots are also viable and a clever way to score this year, aren't they, Richard?
Indeed, chip shots are back in FIFA 21. Even if the keeper stood on his line, you can delicately loft the ball over the goalkeeper's head into the far post. If the goalkeeper's rushing out at you, simply tap L1, hold it down, and then power up your shoot button. you will chip the ball over the goalkeeper's head and make him look silly.
Although normal power shots may not be fancy, they are still a very effective way of scoring in FIFA 21.
Absolutely, Brandon. It's pretty much the simplest way of scoring in FIFA 21. All you gotta do, power up the shoot button, get your laces over it. If you've got a player with high shot power, these shots will fly into the back of the net. You can go far post, you can go near post, anywhere you like. These shots will be flying in to the back of the net.
And I'm sure many people would agree with me, Richard. Volleys are back this year and they're OP in FIFA 21.
Knock it to the back post, knock it to the front post, edge of the box, anywhere, and these volleys will be flying into the back of the net. Trust me, guys, you have to try volleys in FIFA 21.
Lastly, one of the cheekiest ways to score this year in FIFA is by taking it round the goalkeeper. It sounds simple. Is it, Richard?
Yeah, it really is. All you need to do, simply use the right stick and just roll it to the right or to the left. This will initiate the ball roll animation. So simple, so effective. You will be scoring those one-on-one chances simply with the ball roll.
Scoring is always fun in any year of FIFA, but FIFA 21 promises lots of goals and loads of ways to score them.
PlayStation.
Well, there you have it. Those are some of the best ways to score on FIFA 21. We'll be having more content like that coming out for you over the next year. But just a quick one, Richard, about obviously our semi-finals coming up now. We're going to be looking at Liverpool against France now in our next game. Liverpool were the winners over in Europe. We had two players using Liverpool, I should say, in our Final Four last time out. This time out, there's 3 people using France and 1 player using Liverpool. I mean, if Liverpool make it to a final, that in itself is a big one. But if they went the full way tonight, I mean, they'd be going against all the odds at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at what Femto did in that quarter-final tie, a real end-to-end match. He won on penalties in the end. So an entertaining player right there. Ronan Adrian won 4-1. A really convincing performance. This could go either way coming into our semi-final. I wouldn't say there's a real favourite out of the top 4 remaining.
Yeah, well, as you said, goes to Femto, one of our new competitors that made it into our final 8. 3-3 was his game, and he had to go to a penalty shootout where he was able to hold his nerve from the spot. As we said, we had 3 players that were in tonight's bracket from last month's tournament in November. 2 of those players do stay in the tournament, Richard, and one of those being, of course, Kevin AC that we saw earlier today. And of course, Ronan Adrian TTV also in the bracket. Ronan got to the semi-finals last month in November, losing to David Macias. If he wins today, he'll go one step further and book himself a place in the grand final. But one thing I'll say about both those players that played in last month's tournament and that also in our semis, the 2 most convincing performances we have seen today from Ronan Adrian and of course Kevin AC07. Those have been the 2 best performances we have seen. I'm looking forward to seeing if he can carry it over with this Liverpool team, because Diogo Jota was the goal scorer. Let's see if he can still keep his scoring boots on, so to speak, for this semi-final, because we're into the cash now, Richard. This is where it really starts to get hot.
We are indeed. Diogo Jota has been fantastic throughout this entire tournament in EU and now in North America. Can he continue that hot streak? Let's find out. I also want to see what Gus Femto is using in the attacking third, looking to start the game very strongly indeed. I see Antoine Griezmann and Mbappe on the pitch. Also, Pogba and Kante look to be the 2 holding midfielders for him. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Curtis Jones in the team for Liverpool. And I don't think he's supposed to be in the team for Ronan Adrian TTV. So I would imagine that we're just going to quickly restart the game. Not too long to wait at all. But as soon as I saw Curtis Jones, I thought, don't think he's supposed to be there. Great player, Brandon, in real life. Maybe he can get a FUT Future Stars coming up if that promo does go ahead in Ultimate Team after Team of the Year, because that's a promo of FUT Future Stars that I always like, because you get those up-and-coming players that sort of mix with the meta a little bit. We've had Eder Militao in the past. We had De Ligt a couple of years ago as well. Last year, Vinicius Jr. and Tenali, Guendouzi at the E-Premier League. I don't know if you remember that. All those players did feature in the FUT Future Stars promo.
Yeah, absolutely remarkable. We're going to have a little look at this gameplay. We are going to stay with the game, Richard, which, as you said, don't get me wrong, we've seen lots of people use Liverpool But we don't see Curtis Jones ever starting. I don't know what his rating is. Is he a silver? I'm guessing, or is he a gold? I think he'll be a silver player.
Yeah, I would imagine. Diego Jota just being on the bench. I don't really think he needs to do too much. Just a quick substitution, so we can get straight back underway in our semi-final.
Just say part of the reason why I thought we weren't going to quit the game is because Olivier Giroud wasn't in the starting 11, Richard, which normally means if he's in there, then there has normally been a slight bug or a technical difficulty that needs to be resumed. But Diogo Jota has been introduced straight into the pitch here. As we said, it's Ronan Adrian kicking from right to left as this Liverpool team, and Ghost Femto from left to right, fresh off the back of a penalty shootout. Here is Bobby Firmino kicking things off maybe in the right way for Liverpool. We will. 11 minutes on the clock. Again, a perfect finish in that right top corner. Last time out it was Diego Jota. This time it's the Brazilian in Roberto Firmino getting us underway in this semi-final.
Beautiful dribbling inside the final third there, inside the box with Roberto Firmino. The double step over into the scoop turn, and sort of like a cancel on the next scoop turn. Just gave him so much space. Slotted past the goalkeeper from close range, and Roberto Firmino, for me, has been the star of today in EU and now in North America. He has been the player to beat.
Yeah, well, of course, don't get us wrong, he might have all the pace, but he's an 87 rated player. He's got unbelievable finishing stats. In the box, he can be nippy and can pull away from those defenders in those really tight scenarios, as we've just seen there. Really good use of the skill moves. Lovely little La Croqueta there from Mane. Wins himself a corner for his efforts. A perfect start for this Liverpool team at the moment. We've seen 3 different ways to use this Liverpool side. We saw 2 versions of that in Europe, and we're seeing another version here out in North America. The only player that we have seen use Liverpool and be successful with it in North America. Corner plays short. Firmino again, Elastico. Oh, and he deserved a finish, or at least the shot to be on target. What a goal that would have been.
Yeah, the Elastico, real good timing on that skill move. The Elastico is a skill move that is all about timing. Look at that goal kick for a second there. It's only effective and it's only useful if you time it correctly. Roberto Firmino really should be hitting the target, in all honesty. On the angle, it was a very good chance to score. I'm just looking at this formation from Ghost Femto right now. He's got so many bodies up the field in that last defensive play. Lost himself a little bit
like Griezmann's
open.
Starting in this game as well. I don't know what formation looks like. It looks like Kingsley Coman will be, of course, heavily involved. Paul Pogba, you can see just striving forward. But Antoine Griezmann gets the nod. That means that Ben Yedder does not start then. Ben Yedder doesn't start for Ghost Femto. It's either Ben Yedder or Griezmann that always will get the nod, and Kingsley Coman and Martial, as we know, will normally start for 99% of the players. Lovely little dink ball that is into the back post, headed away very well. Chance to counter-attack now for Liverpool. It will be Lucas Digne that comes out on top. He will make the team instead of Hernandez also for France. So a couple of interesting picks, and off the upright. Great chance there by Anthony Martial. Just a little bit too hard and a little bit too wide on the finish. It didn't go in the top corner. It went straight off that left-hand post and ricocheted back to the feet of a Liverpool defender. Chance straight down the other end. A ball whipped in. Well defended by Varane.
Yeah, Anthony Martial got to shoot near post, in my opinion. Has to take that with his right foot and shoot near post. Across the goalkeeper on a weak foot. Just not as useful as he is on the right foot.
Here's Mbappe, lovely ball. Quite heavy though on that. Back to Kingsley Coman, plays the one more. Paul Pogba off his line, well defended there. Nice and able just to pick the ball up. It could be a great through ball there. Didn't want to play it. He's using Mane as his out-and-out option. Diego Jota instead will be very wide out on that field.
So the player lock there onto Roberto Firmino.
Patiently going to find the feet. Oh, we nearly got past him as well. Diogo Jota.
He's got a very good understanding of all the new mechanics. Has Ronan Adrian. Seen the bridge touch, the player locks. It's all there.
Well, the one thing we know about head-to-head FIFA, and especially club FIFA, is it's naturally more of a slower gameplay. But if you add the skill moves in, the bridge touch, the elasticos. That's how you speed up the gameplay in terms of certain scenarios where it can be often very slow, it feels. We've seen a lot of players struggle around this sort of area here to find a gap or to create a chance. You pull out a little skill move like that, you suddenly just, going into the box with so much more momentum and speed. La Croqueta, oh my days, what a finish. Forget goal line technology. Referee said that one was in. La Croquetas, all the skill moves are out from Mohamed Salah. You said he knows the mechanics, Richard. This man knows everything about FIFA 21, so it seems.
What a finish that is. We've got to look at it again. La Croqueta into the smash at the near post. Absolutely no chance that Lloris is getting anywhere near that. What a strike. Emphatic from Ronan.
When a player does that from kickoff, it normally says enough. You can just see Ghost Femto there just trying to solo it with Mbappe. That's never happening. Here's another chance now. Mohamed Salah looking to be involved in a third goal. Again, he's La Croqueta in his way into the box. Teasing with the defence of France. Wins himself a corner. 3 minutes left in this first half of our first semi-final. Who will be the first name to book a place in our North American December monthly grand final? Towards the box, towards the front post it will go. Headed away and headed just as far as Kingsley Coman. He'll try and drive away with the pace that he's got. He will outpace Fabinho just about. Could this be a late chance in the first half? We need to see more from Ghost Femto in these sort of areas. Coman tries to go on his own, and that should go out for the goal kick. No, it won't. It will be a deflection. It will be a corner. Last chance of the half hit.
Short. It's just, again, I feel like we're repeating ourselves a little bit this evening, Brandon, but all the games we've seemingly watched have been relatively one-sided. We watched Ronan beat Eramex 4-1. We watched Queenie beat David Macias 4-1. Then we watched Kevin win 5-1. It's been very sort of dominant performances. 3 shots, 1 on target for Liverpool there. 60% possession as well. One-way traffic in this first half of our semi-final.
Yeah, no shots on target to report as well on the other side of that for Ghost Femto. A player that went 3-3 in his last quarter-final, snatched the result on penalties, hold his snare from the spot. Something needs to change here, Rich. We are seeing a 4-2-4 in an ultra-attacking formation that he will be going for. Constant pressure, there's risk with that. If you go into extra time when you're on constant pressure, your players are very tired and their stamina bars are very, very low.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be doing this now. You see, he's brought Ben Yedder on, and that's a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, so it is a more offensive formation. I don't think he's going to go into ultra-attacking straight away, but he's probably setting that up for later stages in the match, the 4-2-4. If he's 65th minute, 70th minute, and still trailing, doesn't have to press pause again, he can just go straight into it. But into a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow from half-time. Let's see if that can be a change in it. I don't think it is going to be. What a start
this could be. What a save from Lloris. He had to make that one. That would have been literally the worst possible start to the second half there. Bobby Firmino in acres of space. Really well done there, Hugo Lloris. It's a weird one, isn't it, from Ronan Adrian? He makes the hard chances going, but then you would say the more simpler ones you'd think. Unfortunately, not able to find a way past Hugo Lloris on that occasion. Still, one-way traffic. It's all Liverpool traffic at this moment in time. And France have got to do everything they can to block all the traffic, all the chances. It's going to be another one here for Mohamed Salah. He has to just sort of pull away to pull a defender out. Tries to run straight back into the face of Rafael Varane. He's able to defend that eventually. Still, Liverpool still in possession here. This pressure that they're just piling on for Ghost Femto is just too much. So it seems Ronan Adrian looking for a third. Back to Fabinho. A no-look pass from him. He interchanges really well. It's all fun and games at the moment for Liverpool. Firmino still. La Croqueta still in the feet of the Brazilian. Back to Fabinho. This is liquid football on the edge of the box, and just about France having a breather out of that scenario. They're dealing with so much at the moment.
Didn't know if you were going to get the better of that Kingsley Coman there, if you were going to be able to take that off the touch of Joe Gomez. Wasn't able to. It's very aggressive play from Liverpool. Whenever he loses the ball, Ronan Adrian, he's pressing in 2 or 3s. He's trying to win the ball back at source rather than win an interception or win a block. You see how aggressive he is there with Fabinho.
Here is Firmino now. Lovely ball. Remember, he's got the pace in him, Mane. Going to pull away from Clement Lenglet. Goes on his own. And seen a couple of those from Mane. Gets in those sort of areas, and it's always an ambitious effort to even try and get that one on target. That goes across the goal. Fortunately, no way through on that occasion. 28 minutes left. A third off the game gone. He's just only 2 goals behind. Let's not forget that. But we're yet to see a shot on target. And goes Femso. His first ever top 8 finish. His first ever broadcast that he's been on. He's already in the money. He's already guaranteed himself at least $100 for getting to this stage and 12,000 FIFA points. He hasn't been able to create. He hasn't been able to come up with a chance or even an idea in front of goal. That has to change if there's any hope for a comeback. Otherwise, Liverpool are just going to keep this pressure going. Look for a third now. Firmino. Diogo Jota. Still Firmino with it.
Just waiting.
As long as he's got the ball, he's laughing, Richard. Mbappe. Comes to nothing. 20 minutes left, of course. After this, we'll be jumping over to our other semi-final. Queenie 21 against Kevin AC 07. That plans to be another thriller. That's a France versus France matchup, that one. It looks like we know that Liverpool will be booking a place in the grand final. One more goal will solidify that one. Great save from Lloris with the knees of the French keeper. It's enough to keep him out, but that ball's got to go forward. Is it time for an ultra attack? If he hasn't really got into it,
Got to go to the 4-2-4.
Time to see it.
Yeah. 15 minutes left. 2-0 down. You're in a knockout game. What's the worst that can happen? You're losing the match anyway. You're going to be eliminated from the tournament anyway. You may as well go for it.
His wide play's been absolutely superb, Ronan Adrian. Players like Salah getting on the ball and doing stuff like that. The composure touches are even out from the Egyptian forward. Done so well with those players, and just the utilise of when he's utilised them, I should say, in those areas. He's been so good. He's used all the right skill moves. He's lacroquetted his way into the box. He's used even composure touches there just to tap the ball out, just to try and find a left foot finesse like that one to increase the composure on the chance and the opportunity of that one at least being on target. It's gone 10 times better, Rich. It's gone into the top corner, and it really has been a performance to remember. What did I tell you? The 2 players that we saw last month in November that are still in this tournament gave us the performances of the evening in their quarter-final matches, and they've continued to deliver that in the semi-finals here.
Yeah, absolutely. Very similar story to what we saw in Europe earlier on today. Ajdin Riyad and Sebastian Bach, the 2 players that we'd seen previously in monthly finals, made it all the way to the final where they battled out a 1-0 victory for Ajdin Riyad. Right here, we've seen the player in particular, Ronan Adrian, who's been at this stage of the tournament, of the Open Series in previous months, dominant in this semi-final, and he'll be going into the final absolutely full of confidence.
Well, it could be even more, Richard. Fabinho in a very unfamiliar position. Oh, nearly just teed up Sadio Mane, who's yet to have a shot on target for the last couple of chances. No one just wide of the right-hand post. But when you're 3-0 up, you can afford to make those mistakes, and it's not going to cost you. But 3-0. Liverpool will be in a grand final. That's $300 guaranteed. Ronan Adrian will go an extra step further. Got knocked out in the semi-finals in November, losing to our eventual winner in David Macias. This time out, he makes a grand final. Now the question turns to Queenie or Kevin AC07. Who will be joining him in that grand final to battle out for the crown in the December North American monthly finals? And what a performance it has been. Added time to follow in just a couple of in-game seconds, and that will be job done, Richard.
Sadio Mane has been probably the worst player in this Liverpool team. Missed a couple of real gilt-edged chances and still not mattered in the slightest. 3-0. Could have been 6, in all honesty. A very, very convincing and comfortable performance for Mr. Ronan Adrian TTV.
Look at the stats.
9 shots, 5 on target. His opponent didn't have a shot on target. He only registered 1 shot in total.
I mean, winning a game is always a good feeling, Richard, but winning a game in that fashion must feel good. You've stopped your opponent from having any chance, and even a shot on target. That has got to be something to give you confidence. But just the goals, the way the goals went in, the step over into a little scoop turn, that was Roberto Firmino 11 minutes into the game. And it was just class in every single angle of the field, Richard, from the performance we just saw there. Unbelievable scenes from Ronan Adrian, and it just continued. There was a half chance to hit the post, shot, yeah. And that was, that goes in. Maybe that could have been a different story, but this goal here is even better.
Yeah, Mo Salah down the wing. You're going to see a beautiful Lacroqueta just there, and then smashed into the near post. And you thought that was a good goal. Watch Salah's next goal right now. Down the wing, couple of step overs. I'll talk you through this. Then there's an R1 little knockout touch, L2 fake shot in front, touch around the defender, and absolutely rifled like a bullet into the top left corner.
Yeah, brilliant goal, Rich. And this is how the bracket is looking. You're thinking we need to find one more name. And that is exactly what we're going to do in our next semi-final. Kevin AC takes on Queenie 21. Queenie 21, let's remind you, beat David Macias. Didn't just beat him, he actually did quite well in terms of the goals he scored. 4 goals to 1. He breezed past David Macias in that quarter-final result. But then also, someone else that breezed past their opponent was Kevin AC against the Air 10 Year. 5 goals to 1. Both had really strong performances, Richard, in their quarterfinals. The best quarterfinal performances you've honestly seen, but really, really impressive stuff. And that plans to be another corker of a semi-final in that one. If you have just tuned in, this is the North American December monthly finals. Really impressive stuff here from North America. And it just, I don't know what it is, Richard, but it just seems like in Europe we have so many sort of close games, really tight games where, there's a lot of defensive sort of mindset in Europe. But in North America, it's just such attacking football, isn't it? It's attack, attack, attack. It's something that I noticed when we first started commentating on FIFA a long time ago. Back in FIFA 17 days. Remember, we went out to Los Angeles in our first ever tournament we got to commentate on in America. And the one thing I noticed was just the risks that the players take out there. They love shots from the edge of the box. They love just playing attacking football, Richard. It's just seemed to continue over the last sort of 3-4 years we've watched FIFA. And in the Open Series, that theme has still continued.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a number of the games that we've seen more blowouts, I would say, in North America. We see more 5-1s and 6-0s and 4-1s and really one-sided matches, rather than in Europe where it's slightly more competitive, I would say, in the latter stages. Just looking at the results we saw earlier, 4-3, 1-0, 1-0 final. I don't think we're going to see those tightly contested matches. We just saw as dominant as performances we've seen the entire tournament. 60% possession, 9 shots, 7 on target, 3 goals scored. And not only that, the opponent in Ghost Femto didn't register a shot on target. He was dominated. This is the only real word to describe it in that semi-final. Are we going to get a repeat of that semi-final right now between the two competitors taking place in Queenie and Kevin? I don't think we will. I think this could be more competitive with the confidence that both of those two players are coming off of their quarter-final results as well. Obviously, Queenie beating former champion David Macias and Kevin beating Year 10 Year. Both players coming into this game full of momentum, full of confidence, and full of sort of belief that they can win this tournament.
Well, there's another poll in the Twitch chat for you guys to get your teeth into. We are looking at France against France in the next game. However, you can't use Liverpool. You can't use France. Which of these teams do you use? I know Richard's answer, so I'm going to say, Richard, you can't use Liverpool, you can't use France, and you can't use PSG. Who do you choose out of these teams? Bayern Munich, England, Manchester City, or Barcelona? Guys, you have your say in the chat. Of course, you guys can choose PSG if you wish. Out of those teams, Richard, Bayern, England, Man City, and Barcelona, who are you choosing?
Real Madrid.
It's not an option, Rich.
Yeah, but PSG is an option, and you're not letting me take that. So I'm breaking all the rules,
Because I know your answer for that one already. I'm surprised you didn't say. To be fair, I would say Man City for you. You've got a soft spot for Manchester City, but on that list, Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich are good, but they lack pace in defence, especially the centre backs. Man City are good, but they lack pace at centre backs unless you're playing players out of position. And also the CDMs of Man City, good in real life, Rodri, Fernandinho. In FIFA, not the levels of Kante and Pogba. England are a very good outfit, but I think they're just lacking a little bit here and there. They've not got an out-and-out central attacking midfielder. They've not got another CDM to go next to Jordan Henderson. I would probably I would say PSG. I think Real Madrid are a good outfit in FIFA, in all honesty. We've seen Real Madrid used before. I think Manchester United are a good outfit as well. I would stay clear of Barcelona just for the simple fact that their star player Messi isn't as good in FIFA as he was in previous years. Piemonte Calcio, certainly up there as well, through Cristiano Ronaldo. There's viable teams if you can master those teams, but France are the easiest team to use. If you're just dipping your toes into the Open Series and you want somebody that you might not have played a lot of head-to-head before, go for France, because they are the easiest team to use.
No, they are the team to use. And again, as you said, Piemonte Calcio not on that list, but PSG winning the vote in that one. No surprise there at all. We've got good news. That news is our second semi-final is underway now, Richard. Here we go then, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this one will play out. France against France. Kevin AC against Queenie. Queenie knocked out last month's champion in David Macias with a really strong performance. However, this time round, let's see how this game shall go. We're jumping into it now. 5 minutes in, Rich. What are you thinking about this one?
It's the early start. The early start is going to be everything. We often talk about one-legged games of FIFA being really sort of nip and tuck for the majority of them. You see ultra defensive and defensive just implemented there from Kevin. I also think he put striker drop back on. So you see his mentality coming into this semi-final. Not to lose, especially in the first half. Don't lose the game in the first half and then go and win it in the second.
Yeah, let's see how this one does plan out. Ferland Mendy was heavily involved as expected. Speaking of the two France side, Richard, I don't think there's too much difference. I think they're pretty much both set up in the same way. Both not looking to back Antoine Griezmann, if I'm correct there. Mbappe for Kevin AC, trying to get some goals flowing again. They both had really strong quarter-final performances, as you touched upon. 5-1 win for Kevin AC against Year 10 Year. And then, as we said, Queenie, he was 4-0 up, and it was only a late consolation from David Macias. But what did Queenie do, Richard? He counter-attacked, didn't he? These through balls, the timing of his through balls were absolutely exceptional. And the ways he was scoring as well was even better. He was vying for the cheeky chip, the scoop over the goalkeeper's head on at least a few occasions.
And what I'm going to be looking at here is, can you play that counter-attacking long through ball, almost Leicester City-esque style of play against someone who's not going to give you the space in behind? Is he going to struggle to create?
Let's see how this one plans out to be, though. Win this, you're in a grand final against Ronan Adrian TTV for a chance to call yourself a champion. Also to bag yourself $400 in tonight's North American monthly final bracket. France against France. Liverpool were in that grand final, we must add. So Liverpool looking really deadly. And when someone uses Liverpool and they make it work, I'm sure it will turn a couple of heads that have been watching tonight thinking, wow, maybe Liverpool are a viable option that I could look to use in the future of the Open Series. Again, it depends how you use them and depends how you want to use them. We saw a different Liverpool in action in Europe, but they, again, were the winning team. And however you set them up, make sure it's a winning formula. And so far, so good for Ronan Adrian.
I mean, he was already 1-0 up, Queenie, in his match against David after 25 minutes. In the quarterfinals, you see that deep back four, there's no space to hit him behind. And as I was alluding to earlier, Kevin AC, a big skiller. A lot of his goals come through skill moves and through intricate play. From what we've seen from Queenie so far, it's been the more, I don't want to say direct, because I feel like directs are, you're not giving it the justice, but a more tactical approach to his play. Can he play the slow build-up and break Kevin down?
Let's have a look. Lovely little Elastico Mbappe. It's got to be a shot on there. Surely. Oh, it's just wide. I thought for a split second. We weren't going to see a finesse originally from Queenie because the chance opened up via the Elastico. Kept on running though. Tried to risk it. Channel and just one of the right-hand post. A really bad goal kick there. Quite a A mistake to forget about from Hugo Lloris. Does win the ball back, does go for a goal kick. A third of this semi-final has been played. Just checking back in with that Twitch poll. I mean, I think PSG did win the vote. Yeah, 51% of the votes. In second place, it was Barcelona, just nipping England. And Bayern Munich, Man City with the least votes, believe it or not. England getting more votes than Manchester City.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised by that. I am surprised by that, but interesting to say the least that England are the more favourable team.
It would have been interesting as if you replaced Manchester City and England with Piemonte Calcio and Real Madrid, how that would have maybe swung a few things. You've got Cristiano Ronaldo now in the mix, and then, as you said, a Real Madrid team that still pretty viable, still not too bad. I mean, Benzema, if you're a keen FIFA player, got himself a couple of informs, very good 91 rated inform a couple of weeks ago. He's been bagging some goals for the Spanish side. And then you look across the board, you've got Varane, you've got Mendy, you've got quite a few of these French players that...
Ramos.
We're speaking about Ramos, yeah, of course. Danny Carvalho, pretty solid fullback. Thibaut Courtois in goal. Then you've got a lot of pace with these Brazilian wingers now. Even Hazard also.
Yep, Hazard. I'd probably play Hazard cam, Vinicius Jr. on the right. Luka Jovic maybe, even as a central striker with the 5-star weak foot. Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Modric, Casemiro, Toni Kroos, Valverde. They've got a lot of options, Real Madrid. Just don't have that star player.
I mean, for so many years, as we know, Ronaldo was at that club. It was wherever Ronaldo went, most of the FIFA players used to follow, whether that was Manchester United a long time ago, or more commonly Real Madrid. The spell he had there for many years meant that they were the team to use on head-to-head FIFA. I mean, to be fair, I know we give France a bit of stick now and then that we watch them so much. It could have been Real Madrid, Richard. I mean, and I'm sure at that point would have been like, okay, can we see a different team other than Real Madrid? Although it was great to see Ronaldo scoring and probably scoring goals. Of course, we've moved on since those times, and now we're with France. They are the team everyone loves to use here. Half-time in this one, 0-0 between the two, and not too much to talk about in terms of chances. One shot, one on target for one of these two, and one shot and none on target on the other side between these two in our second semi-final here. Only one man can join Ronan Adrian, TTV, in our grand final to battle out for that grand prize of $400. But we've got to see some goals from somewhere, Richard, and hopefully some more shots at least.
And that right there, you just saw the competitor flicking across on the right stick to look at his opponent's formation. A 4-4-2 second variation against a 4-4-2 standard with the centre mids. Two formations battling up against each other. Not a lot of room on the pitch whatsoever to exploit. It's two sort of powerhouses going blow for blow with no real changing team, changing formation, changing personnel. It's about as even as you can get.
Yeah, and as we've already said, on top of that, Richard, is that if we are to be all square after 19 game minutes, we will go into extra time, and of course we will go into penalties as well, so do not worry. There will always be a winner found here. Here's Mbappe now, trying to just barge his way past Rafa Varane. It could be a chance now for Queenie. Great ball inside there to Ben Yedder. He does very well, goes down to ground. Referee says no, he won the ball, and he won it fairly. We've seen them given sometimes, and we've seen I know I've been on the end of a couple of dodgy decisions on FIFA 21 from the referee, and I'm sure we're not the only ones.
I thought it probably should have been a penalty, actually. It looks like he just slid him straight through the bag. It shouldn't have even gone to Ben Yedder. Ben Yedder should have just passed it one more time to his left-hand side. I think it was Anthony Martial, who was the spare man. Didn't pass to Martial, and Ben Yedder did get tackled in the end.
Here is Ben Yedder now. Goes for on a shot on his own. Again, that's another one on target. Better from Kevin AC. There's one for the stats. You can just see a couple of notifications popping up on the left-hand. So one of the coolest things about the PS4 tournaments features is that every game you play, when you win it, it automatically will update on your PlayStation 4 console, which is a really nice, nifty touch. Oh, my God, that could be an open goal. It could be a chance. Mbappe drops the shoulder. Really good tackle again. You've got to be careful when you're making those tackles. You've got to be so sure that you are going to win the ball. And on that occasion, he made the right call, and he did win the ball.
using the player lock there down the line to get Kevin Mbappe, Kylian Mbappe into a better area.
Not Kevin Mbappe again. We've had that convo. Can't remember how that convo went actually. Was it? Was it Mbappe if Mbappe was English? Something like that, and it didn't go much further. 62 minutes played it. Still looking for a breakthrough in the tie. Kante now. Again, Varane. It's all been Varane. I know Clement Lenglet is normally the star, Richard, but Varane after Varane, tackle after tackle, clutch tackles as well. He's got to do it again now to get past Mbappe. Again, he does it really well.
He's the best centre-back in head-to-head FIFA. He's highly regarded as the best centre-back in Ultimate Team outside of the icons, Maldini, Laurent Blanc, Desailly. There's a reason that every single person uses him.
See a chance now for Kevin AC. Break him down. He's trying everything he can to do so. Another long ball forward for Queenie. Queenie certainly looking the better of the two. In terms of getting into the right areas. Defensively, though, Kevin AC has been sound. The longest game we've seen that's been 0-0 in tonight's action across Europe and North America. It's been nearly 70 minutes now without a goal to talk about. Are we going to see a breakthrough, or do we need an extra 30 minutes here? Martial driving forward. What a ball into Mbappe! And it's going to be the winner potentially. With 20 minutes left on the clock, Kevin AC does find a way through this defence of Queenie.
I didn't know if we were offside. Mbappe, he came from that wide area. You see, he's playing him as a right mid there. He wanted Mbappe to keep on getting in behind on the fullback. Great run from Mbappe. Smashed across the goalkeeper. You see the stats just there. 3 shots apiece, 3 on target to 1 on target. A very tight game. I suggested that this game would have been more tightly contested and more sort of really nip and tuck and not a lot at all to separate the two sides, and that's exactly what we've got.
Well, as we saw earlier today, as I should say at half-time, there was only a couple of shots between the two. But one thing I've noticed definitely from Kevin AC was that, what did he do since the restart? He's created 2 good chances with 2 shots on target. Lucky enough for him, one of them did find its way into the back of the net. On the other side of that, as you can see, 3 shots, only 1 on target. He's getting into the box a lot, Queenie, but he's not doing anything when he gets to the box because Varane has been in his face every single time at the moment with a mixture of clutch tackles. He's got 20 minutes to just keep doing that, and he'll be in a grand final, Richard. And we're looking at our 2 previous competitors matching up together in a grand final, which should be one to remember, an all-Mexican grand final. That one will be between Kevin AC and Ronan Adrian TTV, if he can just hold on for 20 minutes. But we need to see more in the attack. We need to see more going forward. And we need to see more chances if there's any chance of this one going into extra time. Here we go.
Varane's just been on a one-man mission on his own, really. A true man mountain at the back, defending, blocking, doing anything he can to keep that clean sheet intact. A couple of substitutions brought on there. It looks like Antoine Griezmann entering the pitch for Kevin.
Here we go. This is the opportunity now for Queenie. He netted 4 goals against November's champion in David Macias in his quarter-final. We haven't seen that similar sort of scoring from him here. And that's because Kevin AC's made it so hard for him to break down his defence. See Paul Pogba now. He's just trying to tee an option up. Where can he find? Can he find Griezmann? Can he find Mbappe? Fortunately, he can only find the feet of Hernandez there. Once again, another big tackle.
Queenie's not scored because there's been
no space in behind. On as well. Mbappe, stay composed. You can send yourself to a grand final, Hugo Lloris. There must have been a little bit of goalkeeper movement there. Parries that one away. Great chance again. Squandered. Corner. Played short. Mbappe. Great feet. Fake shot. Half a drag back. Another great save from Lloris again.
Wasn't only a little bit of goalkeeper movement. There's a lot of goalkeeper movement. He pulled him all the way to the near post for the finesse shot. Chance still not over here. He's decided to go back and now looking to recycle back into the box.
Isn't it?
But Queenie's not scored because he's not been able to hit those long through balls to counter-attack. Chance to do it here, first time in the game.
just hasn't, yeah, I completely agree with you. Hasn't been able to sort of catch him off guard as that we saw in the previous game from him in his quarter-final. But another 2 great chances there. And again, 2 shots on target. That is the difference. That's like 4 or 5 shots that have been registered by Kevin AC in this second half. In the nice way, we just haven't been able to see that from Queenie. He's really struggled to break past this French line. It could be another chance now. Griezmann, fresh off the bench, might not be the fastest of players, but at this time in the game, off the bench, Lofty is summoned in the final third. 4.5 in-game minutes away from a spot in the grand final. Ben Yedder, back to Kante. 1 more goal would solidify that. Kingsley Coman, lovely bridge touch. Kingsley Coman, and that is game, set, and match. Put that man in the grand final. Kingsley Coman, the unsung hero of this France side, proven exactly why he is exactly that.
Again, beautiful bridge touch down the line. L1R1, right stick, flick past the defender, left in for dead. Then it's all about the finish from the Bayern Munich man. High or low, doesn't matter. As long as you got the power on it, sailing past the goalkeeper.
It's been a really good performance from, look across, you're looking at that. 2 players that have made previous monthly final tournaments. They've learnt from their experiences last time out. 1 made a quarter-final, 1 made a semi-final. Ronan Adrian, 3-0 win in the semis from him. Kevin AC, seconds away from this 2-0 win in his matchup. And it's just been really good performances from both our players. Oh, it's a penalty. Oh, Clement Lenglet. That's a little bit naughty. Dived into the tackle. Nothing more than the consolation here. If Benina can put this into the back of the net for Queenie. Cheeky chip. Why not? There you go. A consolation, but nothing more than that. We've played our added time. Referee, send this man into a grand final. There you go. Full time here. Kevin AC 07 against Ronan Adrian TTV. And that will be your grand final for the month of December in North America. It was a cheeky little Panenka, Richard, to wrap up the day, but unfortunately a little bit too late in terms of that chance. That was the only second shot he had on target for the whole game.
Yeah, it was consolation, just that he was sliding all over. He knew the game was over. He wanted to get out of the game as soon as possible. Did Kevin. He knew that the final was waiting for him, and that final will be right around the corner. It's going to be a fantastic game between Ronan and Kevin. I just think Queenie couldn't get the counter-attack going. He couldn't get those through balls hitting home for him. We're going to see the best goals of the game right here. It took the 70th minute to break the deadlock. Mbappe emphatically finishing past the goalkeeper, and you saw it on the left-hand side. Now let's look at it on the right. Kingsley Coman, exactly the same. Bridge touch down the line, and then rifled into the bottom corner.
What does that do to the bracket, you ask? Well, it does one thing. It gives us a grand final to look forward to. Kevin AC 07 against Ronan Adrian TTV. That will be your grand final, an all-Mexican clash between 2 players that made it to our November monthly finals. Is it a coincidence, Richard, that they're continuing this confidence over to the month of December? And again, going 1 step further, or I should say 2 steps further for one of these 2, but making it into a grand final tonight.
I wouldn't say so. I think if you look at the performances, it's been a mounting up. Obviously, you get confidence from previous tournaments, but these 2, they've been the best of today, and very shortly indeed we'll find out who the best is. 2 people who have been flawless all day, battling it out for the number 1 prize. That final coming up after this break.
Strap yourselves in, it's going to be a good one. We are here today to bring you the action.
Hello. Fantastic finish.
Oh, it's an equaliser. Goals galore.
What a player he is.
There is so much on the line. Avatars, in-game fiends, money, FIFA points. We want to see you involved.
PlayStation.
Hello everybody, Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley here with a look at the strongest formations in FIFA 21. This is somewhat of a polarising topic because every single formation has its pros and its cons. It always comes down to personal preference at the end of the day. With that being said, what's our first formation, Richard?
It's the tried and trusted 4-2-3-1 formation, Brandon. This is what you tend to see a lot of FIFA pros use at the very high level. Mainly because of the two CDMs, they're like anchors in front of your back four. They patrol left to right, breaking up play, and they are the catalyst to this formation's success. Another big important thing in the 4-2-3-1 is your central attacking midfielder. Having 5-star skills or 5-star weak foot is imperative to the 4-2-3-1 success. If you're a new FIFA player, trying competitive tournaments, play the 4-2-3-1, get your foot in the door. This will help you improve.
Next up, the 4-3-2-1 is once again one of the favourite formations in the FIFA community this year. Why is that, Richard?
The 4-3-2-1 allows you to counter-attack at breakneck pace so quickly. Your right and left forwards cause a lot of danger, running in behind, forcing players to always be looking over the shoulder, defenders running back to their own goals. It's not what they want to do. That can also cut inside, offer great shots into the opposite corner, and the back post cross is arguably one of the most OP things in FIFA 21.
Another popular formation this year is the 4-2-2. Care to explain why, Rich?
It speaks for itself. You literally have 4 attackers going forward. You have your 2 strikers and then your 2 central attacking midfielders. You have so much goal potential in this formation. The main real key in this formation is your CDMs have to be elite tier. We're talking Kante, Pogba, Goretzka. These sort of players have to be used in this formation. But if you want goals and you want quick attacks, the 4-2-2 is where you should be looking.
Lastly, Richard, let's look at the second variation of the 4-1-2-1-2.
This is what people like to call the diamond, and it's a diamond in the rough in FIFA 21. If you're a fan of tiki-taka, this is the formation for you. It allows quick and easy passing from your centre midfielders to your CDM to your central attacking midfielder. We're always working in triangles in the 4-1-2-1-2. You have 2 strikers, they're never isolated. They've always got one of them to bounce off of in the 4-1-2-1-2. Again, attacking FIFA will be coming your way in the diamond.
These 4 formations are very strong in FIFA 21, but that's not to say that another one won't suit your own play style better. Don't be afraid to try a few of our own suggestions until you find the one that you personally enjoy.
PlayStation.
Well, welcome back to the PlayStation Tournaments Open Series North American Monthly Finals. Here we go then. It is grand final time, of course, joined by myself, Brandon Smith, and Richard Buckley for this one. $400, Richard, and a new name, crowned champion. That will be confirmed tonight. It will be a New Mexican player here in North America that will pick up our second Open Series victory of FIFA 21, and also the last one of the year in 2020. What a year it's been for competitive FIFA and the Open Series. But these guys, they've had a fantastic run in the tournament tonight, Kevin AC and Ronan Adrian. They've gone one step further than they did in November. Who's going to go that extra step further tonight and crown themselves as a champion?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at their results, Kevin AC 5-1 against Yetin in the quarterfinals. And then as dominant as opponents as we've seen the entire tournament, it was 2-0, let's be honest. It was a 2-0 win. The scoreline says 2-1, but it was a 2-0 victory. He eliminated any sort of threat that his opponent faced in that semi-final. On the other side of that, Ronan Adrian TTV, just looking here, 4-1 victory in the quarterfinals and then a 3-0 victory in the semi-finals against Ghost Fento, who we thought could be a serious threat in this tournament, but he put him to the wayside with ease in that semi-final. What's going to give him the final? Will it be a tightly contested game, or will it be Ronan Adrian TTV showing why he is regarded as the #1 player in this tournament? He was the favourite coming into it. Probably, if you ask people who they thought would win, if you ask myself and Brandon, we probably thought Ronan Adrian probably would be the man to beat alongside David Macias. As soon as David got eliminated in the quarters, Ronan's eyes started widening.
So there's one thing that these two do not have in common, Richard, is that they don't use the same team. It's France against Liverpool in this grand final. But as you said, Ronan Adrian playing as Liverpool, I think he's actually probably looked the best with Liverpool. I know that sounds quite ridiculous to say because in Europe, I'm comparing back to Europe here. I think he looks a bit better than Ajdin Riyad, in my opinion, with this Liverpool side. Ajdin looked great, but the defensive side of it, I mean, he conceded a couple of goals, Ajdin Riyad. Don't get me wrong, still great player, still became the champion in Europe. But this man's defended very well with Liverpool, Rich, and he's sort of denied a lot of chances.
I just thought of something. Potential to have a double Liverpool winner
I
today.
know.
If Ajdin Riyad, he won in Europe earlier on, if Roman Adrian, maybe it's the Adrians, they've come together and said, you do it in Europe, I'll do it in North America, and we will get some Liverpool absolute greatness in the Open Series to end 2020 on. We'll have to wait and see, but something's got to give in this final.
Well, here we go then. We're back underway. It's another grand final. This time, the last one that will round out 2020 for the PlayStation Open Series tournaments. Who is going to come out on top of this one? Is it going to be Liverpool? Is it going to be France? Good chance early on into the game. Mohamed Salah has been full of goals tonight. We'll do it before a goal goes in quickly. Richard, score prediction for this one. You went 1-0 in Europe and you got it spot on. I went 3-2. I got it completely wrong. What are you thinking? Don't give me a winner. Who's going to win? Just a score. 2-1, you say?
Yeah.
I'm going to go 3-1. Okay. Let's see. Let's see who comes out on top of this one. If you are watching, of course, still in the Twitch channel of PlayStation or on YouTube, drop a comment. Give us a score prediction. Don't have to say a winner. Just give us a score prediction. How many goals do you think we're going to score this one? Lovely step overs, Bobby Firmino. Even better tackle that from Rafael Varane. Of course, it is Kevin AC as I should say, as France. You have just seen him in action win his game 2-1. And Ronan Adrian, oh my God, what a ball that is. He's just caught him off guard. The right back, nowhere to be seen. Ball across the box. Mbappe gets this grand final underway. 9 minutes into it. There's going to be goals, so it seems.
What a counter-attack right there. We've seen that ball seemingly used the entire sort of tournament today. That long through ball down the line. You see your custom tactic changes right there as well. From Liverpool. Stay back while attacking. Imperative on your fullbacks when you're playing against France. Early goal.
Yeah, really early goal, Richard. Again, a great example of a counter-attack. It's France. They're so good in these counter-attacking examples. We saw that with Queenie. Yes, not in the grand final and did just get knocked out by the man who's just scored. But with the pace that France do offer you, the pace on the width areas as well, Kingsley Coman, Martial, Mbappe, that's where you can be deadly. But let's talk about this Liverpool side quickly. We haven't seen them for a couple of games. It's the way that he likes to use them. He plays Diogo Jota out on the left-hand side. It's Mane as the out-and-out striker. Fabinho also gets the nod to start alongside Gini Wijnaldum. That perfect balance of your two CDMs there. And, of course, as expected, Mohamed Salah out on that right-hand side. But Mohamed Salah's been so good at cutting in, Richard, and just been very, very instrumental in terms of the skill moves he's been able to use. You've seen bridge touches from him. You've seen, simple just composure touches from him. He's been really good, and that's one thing that's really impressed me today is how good he's been with the mechanics of certain players and inputting the right types of skill moves with certain players. And hopefully he can bring it out in this grand final to try and turn the game around because he's currently down by a goal.
He's been a real nuisance. I think that's the best way to describe him, Mohamed Salah. For Ronan, just offside there is Fabinho with his back to goal. Early goals usually tend to win games in the Open Series, played over this one-legged format. Will that be the story of our grand final right now? You see exactly what Kevin's looking for again there, that through ball down the line.
Yeah, he was just offside Fabinho about 5 in-game minutes ago. The idea was right, that just couldn't get that final touch he's looking for. Diogo Jota. La Croqueta doesn't earn him much more than a couple of yards. Fabinho punches that into the feet of Sadio Mane. Back to Firmino. Again, good tackle there from Rafael Varane. That's something that's got to be on point, especially against all these different skill moves that are being thrown at you. Got to be calm, got to be collective.
The best way to defend those skill moves as well, you see as soon as he gets hold of Rafael Varane, he's wanting to press. He's wanting to press the ball. That's the best way to defend against a player who likes to set his skill moves up as well, especially with the dead stop.
Just give them no time. This could be 2-0 here, Richard. Cut back into Mbappe. Well defended by Virgil van Dijk. But you've got to get in the face of the player, which, of course, can be great if you win the ball back. But also, if you do get sort of taken around or skilled, so to speak, then you are going to be instead chasing the ball like we just saw there. It was a good idea from Joe Gomez originally to come out and press the ball. Then, fortunately, he was out of position. Lucky enough, Virgil van Dijk was there to stop the cutback pass that was trying to find the feet of Mbappe. Oh, he goes down to ground. Sadio Mane, referee says, no, get back up on your feet. That's not going to be a penalty.
I thought for a second you might have had a chance there from the penalty. That's a mistake at the back. He made up for it, though.
Again, it's these little touches, Richard. Poor touches from Liverpool at the back. It's something I tried to highlight him on before the grand final started, was the defensive performance we have been able to see today from this Liverpool side.
Already a third gone.
Yeah, unfortunately, 1-0 down is Liverpool. Really good start from Kevin AC. The counter-attack that led to Mbappe breaking the deadlock. Of course, who else would it be? The FIFA 21 cover start. He has scored some great goals tonight. Look across the board of Europe and North America, Richard. I look at Diogo Jota, who scored some big goals, and also Mbappe. Those have been sort of two of the star players. Lovely ball over the corner into Sadio Mane. Ooh, that was ambitious, and we'll go for a goal kick.
A very good chance as well. You wanted to angle it more into the back post. I think for me, I would say Kingsley Coman and also Roberto Firmino have been two very clutch players, especially in the final third. Firmino more with the link-up play and the skill moves, and Coman with the real pace and the blistering pace to create chances.
Speaking of Firmino, he'll try and get this ball forward now. But look how deep he is. I mean, I guess he's probably had to come back quite some lengths to try and pick up the ball. When you've got Fabinho trying to be your out-and-out sort of box-to-box midfielder, driving that ball forward, it's never going to be looking good. Possession lost. We're 5 minutes away from the first half interval here. If you have just tuned in, this is the North American PlayStation Open Series monthly final. Someone will be picking up $400 alongside the crown in the month of December. We'll be heading into 2021 with all the confidence behind them, hoping that they can move over either to foot or continue on the head-to-head format and show their dominance into the new year. Salah back to Firmino, well defended again. There's just no way through for this Liverpool side at the moment. They normally have enjoyed pulling apart defences. That just hasn't been the case, so to speak. Last chance of the half, if the referee will allow it. It's just a minute of added time. We've played that minute now. It's a really heavy touch there from Anthony Martial, and that should do us for half-time in this grand final. Get the ball out of play. And there you go, half-time between the two. We'll have a look at the match stats to see what there is to talk about. But the only thing that is to talk about is the counter-attack that happened, Richard, and the really long and high-through ball that found the feet of the winger originally, and then it was a great cross into Mbappe. He was just an inch in front of the defender. Mbappe in those sort of areas is always going to be clinical in front of goal, and that's what he was. That was just 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, you saw the stats there. 64% of the ball for Ronan Adrian. It was the one chance that he got, Kevin, and he took it with great effect as well. Ronan's been sort of edge of the box, looking to create. Salah's been on the ball quite a lot. Roberto Firmino's probably had the most touches out of everybody on the pitch. But until you get that clear-cut opportunity in the final third, nothing to show for it.
I was going to say, he's had all the possession in the world, and he's just tried to get things going, but he's really struggled, Richard, to really make anything happen in the final third. And look, there's so many French shirts back there. You've got to deal with Pogba, you've got to deal with Kante, which is something that, at the moment, both Mane and Roberto Firmino just aren't being able to do. They can't deal with either of them two, and you can just see how deep this Liverpool side are. They need to have maybe a slightly higher depth. Mane around the corner, just again, Lenglet's in the way. Still, chance, Sadio Mane, and he's got it in. Just squeezed into the near post. That's a huge goal, because Clement Lenglet there originally had the block off on the player, and I don't know what happened there. He just got pushed back by Sadio Mane. It was like him saying, you've pushed me, I'm going to push you back. And next thing you know, snatched the ball off the Frenchman's feet, snatched it in at the near post, and just so that we're all square at 1-1, he needed that goal desperately.
Yeah, really did need that goal. The actual touch itself, it looked really weird, actually, the second touch around the defender, but somehow managed to get it into the area inside the six-yard box, I should say, and the near post was calling Mane's name.
Coman. Chance. Mbappe. Oh, wow. That is the best way to respond after conceding. To go straight down the other end and to bag a brace with Mbappe.
Straight from kickoff, straight down the other end. Kylian Mbappe. You said he's been the most influential player this entire day. Once again, proving his worth to this France team and this French nation.
As we said, he needed that goal for Liverpool, but then he didn't need that. 4 minutes after scoring that goal, straight down the other end, a really big goal. And now Liverpool back on the hunt. They need a goal to tie the game up. 2/3 of the game has been played. Only a third left of the game now. Is there a way back? Is there going to be more late drama here in the Open Series? It's normally Liverpool that have been involved in all the drama. There's a reason why they were the champions in Europe, because they scored late goals and they produced one hell of a set of performances. Especially for Rajdin Riyad, who was our champion. Over in North America, they've had quite a simple task of their wins in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. Sort of breezed past the competition in how they've been used. However, in this grand final, it's been a different story. Pogba now. Could be even worse. Ben Yedda, even better save. Mbappe with the easiest goal he'll ever score, Richard. The easiest finish that he will ever get. And more importantly, the easiest way to earn himself a hat-trick in a grand final. 3-1, under 13 game minutes left to this match. That's a 2-goal cushion that should not be thrown away.
And you saw the pause cued instantly as soon as the ball hit the back of the net from Rodin. He knows that he has to go right now. It's time to go. What's the changes going to be made? It's going to be offensive changes. Salah, Mane, Firmino and Jota all told to, in better words, stay forward, don't come back, and please win me the game. And you even see more of an offensive change there. Roberto Firmino was a CDM now, and Shaqiri brought on as a central cam, sacrificing the defensive stats of Fabinho and putting Firmino in there.
Here we go. It's a mountain to climb now. It's gone from a hill to a mountain for Liverpool. They need 2 goals, and they need them quick, because they've only got 25 minutes or so to try and find those goals. Expect the depth to go up. Expect there to be a lot of pressure now on this France side, but they've got to soak it up. They've got to do everything they can to prevent Liverpool from even getting just a toe back into the game. Lovely ball! What is it with Mane producing all these interesting finishes? He's gone for so many acrobatic efforts today. Even there he went for one.
I feel like a right-footed shot there, a right-footed volley across the keeper would have been the perfect way to score. He went for a bicycle kick at the near post. 65 minutes on the dot in our grand final. Are we in for more drama, Brandon? What prediction did you say? What did I say? Did I say 3-2?
I said 3-1.
Oh.
I think you said 2-1.
2-1.
I mean, you won the European prediction. I mean, if I stay like this, me and predictions don't go hand in hand normally, Richard. So we'll take a win where we can find one.
It's taken until the 30th of December.
Yeah,
2020.
It's taken a while, isn't it?
For Brandon to get a prediction correct.
This will be the last broadcast that we'll actually get to commentate on of 2020. This will be the last Open Series tournament of the year as well. We'll be back fresh and ready to go for FIFA 21. Of course, that game cycle continues into 2021. But we'll be welcoming FIFA Ultimate Team to the Open Series, which we can't wait for. 22 minutes left in Liverpool. They need to make something happen now. Again, long ball forward. This has got to stick from France. If they break again, then Mbappe even gets a chance. Could be looking at 4-1. Could be looking at a 3-goal cushion. There certainly would never be a way back into the game for Liverpool here. A 20 in-game. It's a lovely little flick on there. Anthony Martial, has he got the legs on him to get past Joe Gomez? He's got Mbappe in support. Paul Pogba's also there, but doesn't need to use him. It's all about keeping possession, letting that time just tick down. Ben Yedda, lovely bridge touch. Ben Yedda to conclude the game. Goalkeeper moved to the right, predicted the shot there. And Ben Yedda went, you know what? I'm going to wait a couple of in-game seconds and just tap it into an open net. 4-1. Kevin AC07, I can confirm, will be your champion here in North America.
With only 15 minutes left to play, the goalkeeper movement simply not good enough, not crisp enough from Ronin. He's had a fantastic tournament up to this point. Probably the favourite coming into this final. But Kevin has been dominant with France.
He's just been clinical as well, Richard, in the moments where you need to be clinical, and that is what separates the best at this level. Lovely reverse elastico. Could it be a chance? Great save. He does get the rub of the green on the rebound. Straight into a pause. Okay, there is time.
I mean, Brandon, you said... You told me 3 minutes ago that Kevin's going to be the champion, so...
I'll be eating more than my predictions, Richard, if he pulls this back.
I'm going to switch into a 3-4-2-1. Okay. I
mean, we've all been there as casual FIFA players. You get to these situations, you're thinking, I'm cruising. And then you look and you go, right, there's 12 minutes left. I'm 2 goals in front. I cannot let this slip away. I simply cannot let this slip away. But it happens. Sometimes it happens. Is it going to happen here? Shaqiri, off the bench.
There's a lot of time left. 12 minutes is a lot of FIFA to be played. But this is what we always say. Ronan's switched into a 3-4-2-1. He's going to be constant press, team press, every press, hot press. You name it, he's pressing it straight off the press. Whatever sort of press he's doing it. There's going to be space in behind.
Ticking over. There's 3 minutes gone. 10 minutes left. He's got to find 2 goals. He wants to send this into extra time, but so 3 at the back. There's going to be so much pressure to deal with. Whipped across. Chance. Minamino. Oh, what a chance. Deflecting out for a corner. Still Liverpool in possession it. Looking towards that front post. Keeper's off his line. Lloris just about does enough. Still, the ball is in a Liverpool player's hand. Virgil van Dijk. Sadio Mane now. 7 in-game minutes left in this one. Still to play for. Big tackle. Virgil van Dijk in that wrong area there, isn't it? That's a simple 5-yard pass, but you can't be making those mistakes. That's 5 more minutes gone now, Richard. This is everything that Kevin AC wants, to be in possession, to watch that clock just tick on down. An extra goal would be very much welcomed into Anthony Martial as we approach the final couple of in-game minutes of this one. Liverpool won't do the double tonight in the Open Series across Europe and North America. We'll be back to France, taking another trophy, taking another victory, but this time with a new competitor in the name of Kevin AC07, who has gone through a number of tough matches tonight, picking up some huge results, as you said, beat 10, then getting past Queenie, who knocked out David Macias, last month's champion. Is it going to be a late goal? Oh, it will be. 4 goals to 3, but there's just not going to be enough time. There simply cannot be enough time. Get the ball forward. And I think that's going to do us here, Richard. Just a little bit too late. There's the full-time whistle. France will be your champions, and Kevin AC will be another name onto the winners list here in the PlayStation Open Series.
What a game. What a game to finish. 4 goals to 3. What a performance from Kevin AC. He went very close in previous monthly finals, but now he is the champion. And good performance. We've seen one Liverpool winner today in EU, and now we've seen one France winner in North America. Plenty of goals, plenty of counter-attack in FIFA, and I think today we've seen how different playstyles match up against each other. We've seen possession, winning games and dominating matches. We've also seen counter-attacks, especially with France being very, very lethal in the final third.
We've also seen what Liverpool are all about. Let's not forget, this is only our 2nd Open Series of the FIFA 21 cycle. We're going to have plenty more of this to come, of course, next year. But let's have a look back at some of those highlights, Richard, of all the big match moments. This was the first goal in the game, and it went to Kevin AC of Mbappe just 10 minutes into the time.
Great finish from Kylian Mbappe. Ronan Adrian got up the other end. A mistake from Lenglet. Little touch inside and then smashed in the near post. But he didn't let it hamper his performance whatsoever. Mbappe inside the box. Left-footed finish into the near post. And we got a couple more finishers just like that one. Paul Pogba step-overs. Ben Yedder with the shot. Alisson didn't get enough on it. And unfortunately rebounded straight back into Mbappe's path. And a 4th came quickly afterwards. Wissam Ben Yedder, goalkeeper movement, not good enough. And Kevin AC will be your North American December monthly grand final champion.
Yeah, and he's totally deserved this. Well, let's have a look at his tournament run after we see this last chance go into the back of the net. It was 4 goals to 3. There just wasn't enough time left, and in the end, 4 goals, 3. That is the journey for this man's been on. A 5-1 victory in that quarter-final against 10. Then he went and beat Queenie 21, who, as we said, previously beat David Macias. He was coming as a big name after knocking out such a big name in the previous champion. Beat him 2 goals to 1. I mean, as you said, it was probably a 2-0 result. It was a last-minute penalty. And then that game at the end went right to the very wire. Had all the pressure to deal with, but defended well and scored plenty of big goals. 4 goals to 3 for Kevin AC07. He adds his name to the long winners list in the Open Series and in North America. North America, Europe, Richard, new names, month after month after month after month. There are so many players signing up for the Open Series right now, and I can't wait to get 2021 started.
Absolutely. It's been a true magnificent year. If you're sitting at home right now and you're watching the Open Series, whether you're from Europe, North America, or all over the world, get this link in your browser, compete.playstation.com. Sign up, link your accounts, follow the terms of service, and you can be competing right here next month on FIFA 21 Ultimate Team.
Yes.
The Open Series coming to Ultimate Team. The next time you see us on your screen, we'll be commentating Ultimate Team. What a year it's been, Brandon, in the Open Series.
Yeah, absolutely amazing year. Of course, we were previously involved from the month of June onwards. We had weekly invitations back then that we were broadcasting, and then we've been on the journey of all the monthly finals, Richard, of course, on FIFA 20. We've seen France, we've seen Liverpool, we've seen so many different teams, but more importantly, we've seen so many new faces in the Open Series, and fingers crossed we can see that into 2021. But that is going to be a wrap for today's broadcast. We saw Europe's winner in Amsterdam, Riyadh. We saw Kevin AC pick up the crown to end 2020 here in North America. Richard, that's all from us, and that's going to be a wrap, isn't it, until 2021. We can't wait to be back for more FIFA action. As I said, I've been Brandon Smith, he's been Richard Buckley. Have a happy new year, everybody. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you in 2021 for more FIFA action. Until next time, bye-bye.
PlayStation